Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Kaiju Weekly, the weekly news roundup show that talks about all the news in the wide world of giant monster movies. I am your host, Travis, as always, fading in and out of existence because my green screen is not playing nicely today. But with me, as always, is my co-hosts, all of them, minus one young gatekeeper. Everybody is here tonight. We have, starting with Michael.
Hello, and don't worry, this is apple juice. Just clarify.
Apple juice.
That for a second.
Apple juice.
I'm sure it's
Lowercase
J.
Next is Brandon McClure from the Fake Nerds podcast.
Hello, hi, how are you guys? I'm here too.
And moving on to Danny DeManna from the Godzilla Novelization Project.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is my real voice.
And last and certainly least, Nathan Marchand from the Monster Island Film Vault.
I was going to say you're saving the best for last, but okay.
He was saving the best burn for last, is what he was doing.
Oh.
Yeah.
if you consider a slightly modified cliche the best burn, I guess.
Oh, now that was a
you
comeback.
are the king of slightly modified cliches, sir.
You are a slightly modified cliche.
Children, please.
Okay,
If that's the best you got, then I feel
we're already losing control.
I had to put up with high schoolers for several months, okay?
We're already
It's been 2
losing
minutes.
control. Let's say hello to everybody who's in our chat. So we have Oscar Solis in the chat. Hello, Oscar.
Oscar.
By the way, I just want to say this about Oscar. Oscar has really good taste in figures, because he did an unboxing the other day. He got his hands on the 30 centimeter Burning Godzilla. It's beautiful. It's better than the Sakai in my humble opinion. So Oscar, you have very good taste. We also have our good friend the Queen, Kaiju Queen. I'm sorry, Kaiju Kim in the fabulous empire, as they say.
Kaiju Queen is good. Is it too late for a rebrand, Kim?
Queen.
Don't let us interrupt your aria, Marchand. You just keep singing. Nice to see
And
you.
No, that was just my bad Queen impersonation.
And next, but certainly not least, before we get off the rails, Mr. Robert Monserrat is with it.
Roll those R's.
Robert.
It's like being in Spanish class again.
So, yes, we have some great listeners along with us, and we've got a full house here. We've got somebody else joining in the chat.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry I dyed my hair before the stream. I'm sorry to disappoint, Eric.
Boy.
I'm back to having brown hair again. Nice.
Hey.
Little
I
pressure.
don't know who the redhead is, but okay.
Well,
Eric, we love you, and we're all jealous of your beard, but not your hairline. So, there you go.
All I
Wow,
see is
the
like
burns are not
3
just
blondes
women.
and 2 brunettes. I don't know.
and a partridge in a pear tree.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
You really should, Kim. You should, Kim. This is work. Fill out that paperwork. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's
Do it
not
now.
Too late.
Do it
Not
now.
too late to
Yeah.
rebrand.
Well,
All right. Well,
I still like Kaiju Kim, but she did originally consider Queen.
Kaiju Queen. That would've
Kaiju
been cool.
Queen. Well,
I could imagine Queen
Kaiju
Kim.
Hime is Kaiju Hime, which means Kaiju Princess.
Mhm.
So
It also means pretty, if I remember correctly.
Google it. But don't
I
Google it on
have-
the show. Google it
As
later.
far as I know, Hime is princess.
That's what
but
I've given him.
But it's also
Pretty
used to mean
princess.
pretty.
Yes.
But anyway, we got a lot of news to cover because we haven't been here for a couple of weeks. We are very sorry about that for anybody who has been following us. If you follow us on Twitter, you know that we've had some issues, and so we haven't for a couple of weeks. Haven't been out. That All Monsters Attack really took it out of us, and that was definitely
But Travis,
one of the
Are
weeks.
they issues of the magazine? That's all I need.
No.
I don't
issue
have...
10, or no, issue 9, the physical copies are on order. They will be here as soon as the printer gets them to me. I'm doing my best. I can only move as fast as the printer, so
That's
yeah.
fine.
I,
Just be glad I don't have my podcast set up so you would get the funny sound effects.
Yeah, we're all counting our
I
blessings on
was
that.
hoping we had
Mhm.
the sad trombone because I had it ready just for you. Well, before we get too off the rails and we head into the news, we actually do have to do a little ad read from one of our friends here. So this episode of Kaiju Weekly is proudly sponsored by our friends at Toku Toy Town. Check out their vast selection of kaiju collectibles. I promise I can talk. Tokusatsu toys and rare sofubi at tokutoytown.com. Stay tuned for later on in the episode for a special discount code for you, the faithful Kaiju Weekly listener.
I thought
Yes.
I was supposed to read the ad, Hamilton. Come on.
No, the
You
second
will
one.
read
The second
ad-
one.
The second ad. You
The
get to read
second
the
ad.
second ad.
Okay, that's
yeah,
fine.
that's the
fine.
stinger. The part 2 comes later.
That's the
Oh,
primer.
Okay. Okay.
Are
You
we
gotta do the
blaming?
primer.
Yes.
Are we blaming Michael's slip up on the apple juice?
Yes,
Absolutely.
always.
Too much apple juice. Too
This
much
is my
apple juice.
first apple juice of the day, sir. Thank you.
And
That's the
with
second-
that,
That's the second thing you've said today that I don't believe.
Michael, you know what's really what's disappointing is that you didn't use this as an excuse for a grape juice plus joke.
Oh,
That is
no.
missed opportunity.
It is a missed opportunity. If I was
It's-
drinking
yeah.
wine, it would be totally different.
That's
Totally
true.
different.
That's true.
I'll drink wine next stream. There we go. I'll drink wine.
I'm holding
next
you to
Oh.
that.
all
Alright.
I'm saying is...
okay,
several of us-
Nathan. Let's get into the news. And before we get into the news, we have to cue a certain particular sound effect.
We have to cue the beady beady.
Cue the beady beady. What? Stop doing it, Michael.
So many
I-
diabetes.
I think Ghidorah remembered that he's based on the Orochi legend, so he's dipping into some sound.
Ghidorah is also drinking apple juice today.
He's drinking that what was the name the sake had a name. What was the name of the sake
I
that he
don't
drank?
remember. I'm about
Yoshiori
to do research.
Yoshiori
Yeah,
sake.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to be doing
Yoshiori sake.
research on that for the magazine for an article. So
Oh yeah.
All
Anyway.
right, so we're getting into our top story, and our top story for this week is the Skull Island trailer has finally dropped. So this is the animated Kong series that we've been anticipating on Netflix. They dropped their first teaser trailer, is what it's called, because they don't give any kind of like plot or anything. Actually, I don't even think there's any real dialogue in the trailer. So
No, there
there's
is.
one
In the
line, I
beginning.
think.
So, well, we'll see what that line is because we're going to play the trailer now.
Cue the copyright strike.
Yes, cue the copyright strike.
The beady beady copyright strike.
And for people who are listening later, sorry that you can't see, but we're
Wah,
going
wah.
to the trailer.
Spinning circle of doom. Trust us, it's really cool.
It's really awesome, guys.
So what we'll do is we'll play it, and I'll do one of those descriptive audio things while we're watching it.
Don't do that.
Why?
No, I'm not
Why?
gonna do that.
Why?
That would
Why?
require that it actually cooperated.
Man,
Do
Why is
the
it
AM
happening?
Man unfurls
do
map.
the,
Looks
do
up.
the AMSR or AMS. What the hell is that?
ASMR.
ASMR.
ASMR. There we go.
ASMR. Yeah.
Look, guys, I'm Mike Wazowski. I'm on a live stream.
Uh-oh. We lost Travis.
No,
He's
I'm
back.
here. Sorry, I was trying to get the thing to work. Oh. Dang. All right, hold on.
Oh.
Now we lost Travis.
Well,
It's
now
either
we lost
it's either the
Travis.
trailer or Travis. We apparently can't have both.
The trailer has killed Travis.
I feel like my mouth should be muffled.
We've already seen this. We've all already seen this, right?
Because Travis is now
I'm
in agreement.
behind my name.
We've all already seen this, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've seen it. We've
Yeah,
seen
we've
All
it.
right.
seen it. I mean, I feel like everyone on the internet has seen this by now. Like even people who don't care about this.
Am I the only one who thinks it's bad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are actually.
All right. Well, we'll
I
get
have
into
more
it.
issue with the timing of this because Netflix decided to basically say nothing for months, and then a month before they plan to release it, they drop a teaser trailer and say, "Hey, guess what? It still exists."
That's what Netflix do, though. That's Netflix.
That is
Yes.
that is
That's
what
their
Netflix
thing.
does.
This is their modus operandi. This is
I
how
know,
they.
and I don't like.
We're not going to be watching the trailer.
No,
Oh,
it's all good. I think
well,
we've all seen
darn.
it. And
We've all seen it.
And anybody out there, it's 50 seconds out of your life. Go watch it. It's
Okay, let me just say something real quick about this trailer. I don't like Powerhouse Animation very much. They are the animation studio that is doing this. They did Zeus, that Zeus, the Greek mythology show.
Mhm.
They did the He-Man show, which I haven't seen yet, and they did Castlevania, which is their big one. Okay, so my issue with them, and everyone's saying it. It looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. What Kaiju came in the comments says it looks like one of those old Saturday morning cartoons. Yes,
Thank
it does.
goodness.
But it's not supposed to. It was not meant to. It is accidental because Powerhouse Animation continually has the stiffest animation out of every company that Netflix works with. You look at Studio Mir, you look at any other company that they work with, they have much more fluid animation. But for some reason, someone is taking that Netflix money and running with it over at Powerhouse because they are not putting in the animation budget that they need to. And you can see that they can because they did the Dawn of the Monsters clips, which are much more fluid and much more engaging. And I thought I saw those, I was like, damn, Powerhouse Animation, you did it. You figured out how to make fluid movement. Well done. I'm so excited to see what's next. And then this is what's next? Come on.
I don't know what trailer you watched, honestly. It looked awesome to me.
Look at the people. They're not moving. They don't have any expression on their faces.
I've seen 50 seconds of people moving. I haven't seen the whole show. I can't judge it yet.
Well, okay. So to be fair, I do see what Brandon's talking about because I'm a big animation person. I love animation. I love studying animation. I think that it's actually on purpose. I don't think that they're actually doing it. I think it's a stylistic choice.
So it's a feature, not a bug?
Yeah, I really do, because I think they're trying to capture a certain style, and there is a certain style if you watch certain anime, and I forget which anime studios do it over in Japan.
Old anime,
where
typically.
Yeah, it's like it's older anime that has a very choppy look to it, and I think they're trying to recapture that choppiness.
I also think they're trying to make it
real
look
quickly,
like Godzilla the series or the Kong animated series from the early 2000s. I've heard a lot of comparisons to that.
My only rebuttal is then what's their excuse for Blood of Zeus or Castlevania looking the same way?
No, I think that's the style of animation. I think that's the style of animation that this studio is going for. I think that is what their hallmark is going for, because they do that for all of their TV series, all of the series that they do. But yet, if you go and look, they have done some stuff, and it's not been that choppy. I was looking at their list of projects, and they've done some stuff that's not choppy like that. So I really do think that it is a style. Someone in charge, I think, made that decision to make it kind of choppy to look like a specific era of animation.
I can almost guarantee that's exactly what they did, just based on.
It looks like
can.
Godzilla the animated series from '98.
Yeah,
it looks like a little bit of it.
The style of animation does look like, as far as like the actual artwork and the art style.
But it's a lot more angular. It was giving me it was giving me Teen Titans vibes. But Teen Titans moved differently. You know what I mean? It's close, but not quite.
Teen Titans moved more like actual anime.
Yeah, like this to me feels like one of those late 90s, first half of the 2000s anime-esque, Western animations where they were trying to go for an anime style and they weren't quite hitting it, but they created their own little weird kind of subgenre of animation. And that's how it read to me. It felt like an intention rather than an animation limitation. It's not, to me, it didn't read as we're going to go to these people that only know how to do one thing. It felt to me, at least to me, I could be wrong, like they were trying to make a throwback. And that, hey, Donnie, what is going on? I think we can all agree that Donnie is one of our favorite humans too. Yes.
Oh yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
And is in
Hey,
fact
Donnie.
Kim's twin.
Did we shout out Life is Lovely?
No, we did not. We did not.
Yeah,
We did
thank
not,
you.
actually.
From all the way from the great state of Hawaii.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And
That is awesome.
I clicked the wrong one. Underscore Conway. I'm not sure who that. I don't know if that's somebody that we know or if that's just somebody who has tuned in. But thank you for joining us. They bring up if it's this or those dreadful Godzilla anime, I will take the Kong animation.
Is he referring to both, or is there?
Hold on, because if he's referring to both, I've got some problems. But if he's referring to the Earth trilogy,
he's referring to Singular Point.
Yeah,
because I think Singular Point was okay as far as the animation style.
I thought the
you know what?
Singular Point had issues, but the animation wasn't one of them.
You know what? I'll even take back. I know I came in a little hot there, but look, I'm really happy that the monsters, that the kaiju in this are 2D animated rather than 3D animated, which is what you see a lot of in especially anime, where kind of the larger creatures, mecha and kaiju, are often 3D animated in a 2D space, and I really appreciate that they went out of the way to 2D animate Kong and everything and everyone else and all the other ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that because I don't have an issue with that. Like 3D animation in general, or cell shaded 3D stuff, which tends to kind of be, pardon me, more of what we get nowadays, just because it's in vogue. Yeah. I guess you could say 2D stuff like this, where everything is 2D. Now, obviously, there's a digital workflow going on. I can guarantee this was not hand drawn. It's not how it works anymore. But it feels closer to something that I would have grown up with in the early 2000s, and that to me hits a note, and it hits a stylistic note that I miss. When this trailer came out, I grabbed a couple of screenshots and threw them up on the Godzilla Novelization Project Twitter account, and I said something along the lines of, I miss TV shows that look like this. And it's not exact, but it's close enough that I saw it and it made me feel like, oh man, like this is the kind of stuff I dug when I was little and I was watching it. And there's no 3D animation, at least not that we've seen. Again, we've only seen 50 some odd seconds. But just from what it looks like, that's the style they're sticking with. And they're sticking with it for the... I'm glad you brought that up, Brandon, because a lot of shows do default to 3D movements for the monsters. Even if it's cell shaded, they're still CG. They move like they're 3-dimensional. And that's cool. I like that, but I like getting back to this. I like the 2D monsters. I loved that when I saw it. I love it.
Yeah. So I want to make one more point, and then I want to ask you guys a question. So there was back in the day, they had the documentary that was, or not documentary, but like the behind the scenes making of the prequel trilogy, the Star Wars prequel trilogy, and they talked about how when they were doing, now I won't say whether they succeeded or not, but one of the things that they mentioned was when they were doing the CG model for Yoda, that they purposely added flaws to it to make it match more in line with a puppet, because the original one was a puppet. So it's like they were purposely making it worse so that it made it look more realistic. And I kind of feel like this studio is doing the same thing. It's like Danny said, this isn't actually hand drawn, because that's just not how they do things anymore. There is digital work being done on it, but to compensate for that, to still give it that 2D animated look, I think they're purposely trying to make it look more choppy, so it looks like individual cells that are playing out. And I think that's just a stylistic choice of the studio. Whether you like it or not, I mean, that's fair, if you don't like it, but just I don't think it's an accident. I think it's on purpose.
Right. And to build off of that, another reason that they did that with Yoda when they made the CGI model was because the puppet is how people up to that point remembered Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
So they were
Yeah.
trying to match it as best they could, and that meant including the imperfections. So I
Yeah.
think you could be seeing something here. They want this to look like a throwback to late 90s, early 2000s. So that means they're going to replicate some of the, we'll call them stylistic imperfections, or maybe even limitations that they had. Because, like with anime, the reason why the animation was either choppier or slower compared to Western animations because they didn't have the budget.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two things I want to say. And
Yeah, let's real quick. Let's give a shout out to Chris Degelman. Hey, Chris.
Chris,
I know it's got to be a weird time for you over where you're at in Germany. So I know that this is not your usual time to be able to tune in. So thank you. Even if you're able to tune in for just a few minutes, thank you for joining us. We're glad to see you.
So
anyway, Brandon, go ahead.
So there's two last things I want to say about this, and then I have nothing more to add about what was frankly we're already too long on a 50-second trailer. But that's the fun of this. I do think you guys are giving too much credit to Powerhouse Animation, which I understand. I'm a little harsh on them because I've kind of just been so steeped in their animation, and I've seen Netflix put out some really good animation, and a lot of places are doing some really great stuff with animation at this point. Look, Netflix can't release Arcane and then release this and have me be like, excuse me, I know you can do better.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's all about the writing, right? Good writing can trump bad animation. Not always, but with Powerhouse, that has kind of been my what I keep going back to Powerhouse Animation is because their writing is often good. I think those first two seasons of Castlevania are incredible. And I do think it kind of got worse as it went on, but I like those first two seasons. Blood of Zeus is a pretty good story. This has a good team attached to it, so I'm pretty like happy with. I'm sure that the writing is going to be there. And then the last thing I want to say about it is that we see a lot of monsters, and I'm really happy they show a lot of monsters. Like, this is a monster show. This is kaiju. Look, we're really going to Skull Island. But there's a weird disconnect for me that I have to wait and see. It's one of those things where I have to wait and see because I really like Kong Skull Island, and I really like that what Jordan Vogt-Roberts did was make the animals of Skull Island also the plant life almost. Like, it was very much they were steeped in the land. And they were gods of the land that they were a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that here. And I really got to wait and see more about these monsters to know if I see that. And if I don't see that, it's kind of a weird disconnect happening. But it's it's a wait and see.
And that was my question that I was going to ask you guys, because so far in the trailer, I mean, like we said, it's just 50 seconds, but they showed nothing other than the skull crawler that's on the poster and everything. They haven't shown anything that was in the Skull Island movie. So do you think we're going to get any of the, like, was it the Psycho Vultures and all these other things that were in Skull Island that were, these extra fun bits of animals, or do you think they're just going to do all original?
I don't know.
Hope so.
We've only got 50 seconds to go on. And
I mean, it's a hope. I hope so.
About Skull Island is that you can put just about anything on it and make it work. I mean, look at all the different incarnations we've had of the island over the years, and each one has similar but also very distinct variations on its environment and animal and plant life. The 30s version is more of is more dinosaur dominated. The Peter Jackson version was also dinosaur dominated, but clearly influenced by Jurassic Park, and it was also a bit more swampish. Skull Island one was less about dinosaurs, more just about wild fauna, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mega fauna.
And then you have the 70s version that had a giant snake, and it was otherwise boring. So,
yeah, I hope so.
I think the template for, not the template, the canvas, that's the better word. The canvas that is the MonsterVerse Skull Island is so open to adding new creatures that you can get away with adding all kinds of... There's a point where it will become ridiculous if they just keep doing new comics and new animated shows and new, I don't know, tabletop role-playing games, and they keep adding 1,000 different things. Eventually, you're going to wonder this island, it stops being an island and it will start to be a continent after a while with all the wildlife. But as of right now,
I have that problem.
as of right now, just looking at what's been revealed, just looking at all the different monsters that are in this trailer, we've got like a weird kind of, we got tentacles, something with tentacles, we got a crab thing, we got something that flies, got a bunch of stuff. And all I can think in my head is Marlowe from Skull Island saying, "Ooh, there's a lot out there." And I feel like we only maybe saw like a 10% of what Skull Island could have on it in Skull Island, the movie. So that's where the comics come in. That's where the games come in. There's so much you can do. And if this show, I'd be surprised if this show doesn't include, like, you know, some of the more popular, like the greatest hits, like maybe a Scare Buffalo, maybe one of the Mother Longlegs, maybe, you know, a couple of weird half plant, half animal.
I mean, we know there's going to be a skull crawler.
There's going to be a skull crawler. They'll probably.
I want to see the ants.
Yes, I want to see the tree ants.
You need to have the giant ants confirmed.
The giants.
Yeah.
The giants.
The giants. I already made that joke.
Yeah, but
I would love to see the tiger, the weird tiger thing that was
the antler tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's so many of these creatures, because if you look at like the art of the MonsterVerse books or even some of the behind the scenes stuff, like I'm still fading in and out of existence. I'm sorry, people.
I believe it's the art of Skull Island that has the tiger, the white tiger with the antlers.
Yeah, well, and it appeared in the comics. It did appear in one of the comics.
It's canon.
So, so it is you know, something that has been in official media already, not just behind the scenes stuff, but just some of those ones like they have so many amazing creatures that they plan to include, but just didn't have time or the budget to include them in the original movie. And yeah, I would love to see that in there.
That's true, Robert. That's true. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
Get some Varan up in here. Varan. Flying Tigers.
Before we move on, I want to give a shout out to our friend Adrian Settle of Monsters with Attitude. Adrian, it's good to see you, buddy.
Yes. But yeah, so I think that's enough that we've talked about this.
Well, I do have one quick question related to this, and that is, when is this anime?
June.
No. Not when is it releasing? It's releasing June 27th.
Oh,
it's
when?
It's in
when does it take place?
90s. It takes place in the 90s.
Yeah.
In the
90s? Okay.
Yeah. So it's post Kong Skull Island before
before
GVK.
all the rest of the movie.
On the timeline, it would fall a few years, I believe, before the Janjira meltdown in 2014.
So
a few years before that.
One of the things I really didn't like about GVK, and a movie that I generally really enjoy, is that they destroyed Skull Island. Not destroyed it, but like they made it inhabitable. And I was like, that's a bummer, because you really could have explored that a bit more. And, you know, so I'm happy we're getting stuff like this where we can explore that.
Yeah. We need to go back and fill in the missing 40 years of Skull Island history between the 70s and when we see it under a dome. I want to see as much of that as possible. And unless I'm mistaken, the first prequel book, the first prequel comic book that is Kong themed is also set in the 90s.
70s, no, 80s, I think.
The 80s.
What's the 80s? I thought it was 90s.
What's when oh my gosh, what's his name?
The Birth of Kong?
Yes, The Birth of Kong. It's obviously
Well,
obviously.
I think the present day portion of it, I do think it's the 80s, because it is after the events of Skull Island.
I think it's the 90s, guys. I might be remembering wrong. Don't quote me.
Oh,
on
you're
that.
right. It is 1995.
Yes.
1995. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Maybe they're adapting that. No, that probably not.
No, but
No.
But honestly, the other thing I thought before we move on is that there's really no confirmation of this, but since there's so much like just voracious predation on this island, with the skull crawlers having moments where they're underground and then coming out and then going down and then coming out of the ground, there's a chance that some of the monsters, creatures, animals, titans, whatever that we saw on Skull Island in the 70s might be extinct by the time we get to the 90s. There might be new creatures that have come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
there might be old favorites that are extinct now. We don't know. It could be.
Keep in mind, Skull
Yeah.
Island has one of the entry points into the Hollow Earth. That's why
Yes.
its wildlife is so crazy.
Yes, so which it also explains by the time we get to the mid 2020s with GVK, we're pretty much led to believe Kong's probably the only thing still left alive on that island, aside from small fauna, like the vampire-y bird pterosaur looking guys, and maybe maybe a couple of other things. But there are no skull crawlers left, as far as we can tell. Maybe a few, but it seems like most of them were rounded up and by Apex and used
fed
as bait.
and fed to Mechagodzilla. Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, 50 seconds, not a lot to go off of, but it's fun to talk about. So I'm excited for this. I am.
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
Moving on to the next bit of news. So we had another trailer that dropped. It's been a few weeks now, but because we haven't been on here to talk for a couple of weeks, we were behind on things. But the Meg 2 dropped a trailer. And I wanted to play it, but because my thing's not playing, everything on my end is technically going wrong. So excuse that. But what do you guys think of this trailer for the Meg?
I give it credit. It's just embracing the absurdity.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm
It is
ready for it. Give it to me. I really want it.
Yeah.
It sounds
The
weird
fact-
out of context.
This looks so much better than the
Michael,
first one.
why do you
It
keep
does.
doing that?
I just don't even pay attention to it anymore. I just don't even.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah.
one, the first one is trying to still be the book while also trying to be an absurd shark movie, and it's not quite working very well. But this one, just like, yeah, we know that there's a book called Meg, called The Trench.
Oh, the trench, yeah.
Screw it, though. We're just doing our own thing, and I'm like, yes, you should. You should do your own thing.
Just embrace
I-
the absurdity.
Just go crazy, okay?
I said
They picked
a
the
couple of
lane.
weeks. I said a few weeks ago that when we were discussing, because this trailer was revealed at CinemaCon.
CinemaCon.
And so we knew it was coming. And so when we talked about it, I had said that I hope that they just go full on crazy and just give me Sharktopus. Just give me just wild, just nuts. And they did. They like Nathan said, they picked a lane, because I didn't like, and like you guys were talking about, they just this kind of like riding between the two tones of trying to be serious but also not being serious in the first movie, whereas this one it's just like, yeah, we have fully just embraced the silliness, and yes, I love it. But
Do you want
I
me
do-
to try to show the trailer, Travis?
if you
It
can,
might be an internet issue on your end.
I don't know. I have faster internet now, so it shouldn't be doing this problem, but whatever.
Oh, okay, you said I have faster internet. Okay.
Yeah, that's not what I heard either. Yeah,
That's not. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, it's fine. See if you can get it to pull it up so that we can get a copyright strike. I'm excited.
Yes.
Let's do it. Yes. Come at us, Universal.
Oh, Warner Brothers. Oh, Universal might come at us, actually. This is
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, though.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Yeah, come at us, Warner Brothers. Why did I say Universal? I don't know what I was thinking of.
Danny, figure out who you're calling out.
You know, I really should.
Michael, I had it done.
Think
You
before I
don't have to just go. Just do.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, here.
Let's see what happens. So, fun fact about this scene: this is how the book opens. The first book.
Yes, I had heard that.
Can everyone hear that?
Yes.
We can hear
Find the books and read them. There's 5 of them, which I think we talked about in the previous stream.
I've only
Yeah.
read the first one, but it's excellent. It's really good.
This looks so much like the CG model from Jurassic World. It's crazy.
It does.
Like it's
This is just beyond
what the heck? I love it.
silly, crazy.
It's
But
good.
that's
It's
how
glorious.
That's how killer whales hunt, though.
We need your help.
I love it.
We're detecting increased aquatic
Did it.
activity
They just made it
25,000
bigger.
feet deep in the trench.
So that
It's an ancient
that like
ecosystem untouched
that like
by man.
area where they're looking
Whatever
at
is down there
the
is trying to make its way to the surface.
the Meg that's in captivity. That's the only thing from the second book that they
This
kept.
is a bad idea. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Jason Statham in a robot
Part of
suit.
the ocean.
I'm gonna make this thing clean.
There you go. Ooh.
Jonas, we've got company.
Got the your token Asian guy.
That's the biggest Meg I ever seen.
It's the only Meg you've ever seen.
I know. It's like you've seen what, 3 of them?
Everybody back into the station! You can make it! Hit die!
Yeah.
Three massive Megs and two
We're gonna get
Chris.
We're gonna get struck just for the song.
Yes, I know, right?
That is a good point.
Everybody talk over it. Talk.
Yeah, we just keep talking. We'll be all right. I love this. He's like just putting his foot up, like
It's
just
Jason
holding him.
Statham.
You don't wanna
Let
know.
him punch himself.
I'm gonna kick this shaft right in the face.
Gotta keep the shock. We'll keep the Meg.
We're gonna need a bigger ocean. Well done. That's good.
This place,
That was good.
Jonas was always
Don't
afraid of
take
Stop
the
tapping the glass.
That's like rule number 1.
Okay, that gave me real Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea vibes. When the shark just
This is just keep talking. Keep talking.
is that a katana? Does
Yes,
he have
I
a
don't know.
katana?
So
He's
in
fighting.
so the book and so the first
I hate to
book.
break it to him, but Sharknado 2 did that first. No, that was a chainsaw. No, they did have a katana too, but anyway.
So the first book ends with what's Statham's name? Jonas. Jonas, by the way, in the book is not a Statham type. He's a very like tweety,
No.
kind of like a
Mhm.
Jack Ryan type. And he ends up the Harrison Ford Jack Ryan, not the Chris Pine one. And he's like but he still ends up inside of the Meg and like stabs the heart of the Meg, and that's how they kill the first Meg. And they don't do that in the movie. And myself and my co-host Sparks have always kind of wondered, like, wait, so you cast Jason Statham and you don't do the stab the heart scene in the book? Why not? And then we think that the mech suits that we see in this movie are so that they can recreate that scene.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be cool.
I was
Jason
gonna say, if you're
Statham.
gonna be nuts, pick the craziest part of the book.
Jason
Right.
Statham in a robot suit fighting a giant shark with a katana.
Yes. Yes. Make it happen.
This movie is going to make no money. You know this.
It's
No,
not going to
it's-
make any money
No,
at
it's,
all.
it's not gonna. I'm gonna see it a
But
few
people
times.
like us
No,
are gonna
I
eat
want it
up.
to make
Oh, yeah.
all the money.
I
want it
want
to
it to
too,
because I
but-
want more movies like this. Like
Yeah.
that is the one thing that we're missing nowadays is like the
a fun, ridiculous action movie with monsters.
Yeah.
That's what we're missing in society.
Like no pretension.
Roger
no
Corman
pretension.
style cheesy, embrace the cheesy
Oh, yeah.
style
Do not
movies.
insult this movie by comparing it to Corman.
But that's what we're missing nowadays is those types of movies. And
The thing is, like, we're all for it, right? Like, we like these kind of things. Even me, which can be sometimes I don't love this kind of silly, but like for this I am. If they, weirdly enough, I do believe that if they had adapted the first Meg, faithfully, it could have done really well, and we could have had another Jaws on our hands, like legitimately another Jaws on our hands. But the problem with going sillier is that you lose alienating the general audience, because the general audience doesn't love giant silly things, because we're comparing it a lot to Sharknado, and the general audience finds Sharknado to be a joke. So you get them a $300 million Sharknado on the big screen. I'm not sure if the general audience
This
is going to
will
be there
be
for
better
it.
than Sharknado.
and that is the problem with American audiences in giant monster movies, and that is the problem that we run into always with giant monster movies, is because we as giant monster movie fans want people to take them seriously, but we also like when giant monster movies embrace the silly side.
Yeah,
But
there's
if
room
they
for both.
Yeah.
there's room for both, but the problem with American audiences is they don't view giant monster movies as serious. They view them as silly. So all that you're doing with embracing the silliness, having this type of movie, is you're feeding what they already expect giant monster movies to be. And then you'll never get a serious giant monster movie made, because it will always be compared to something like this, and they're going to say, "Well,
I'm just
But
this
is
is
it a problem of
I'm inclined to believe that all those people are just wrong and they have bad taste.
Okay,
So,
well, it's
no.
true. That's
no,
true,
I'm
but
with
that's
you.
that's
I'm
not
not
going to
gonna-
change what happens with studios when they go to make movies.
Is this an American perception of kaiju movies thing, or is it the fact that there is a shocking overabundance of shark-related movies?
well,
most
that's the
of
thing,
which
though.
are
People
incredibly stupid.
really like shark-related movies, like Deep Blue Sea, Jaws.
No, I'm not talking about those.
But most of them have been straight to DVD, straight to Blu-ray, straight to streaming
DVD
lately.
and streaming things are half of the stuff that comes out of SRS.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
Sharks
not
of the
talking about
Corn.
like Sharks of the Corn, Nathan. I'm talking about actual good movies.
But that's the thing.
Michael,
We've
we're
never...
not saying
My
you're
point is that
wrong.
it's-
We're
it's an
saying that how
overabundance.
general audiences are going to perceive them.
No,
Not that what
in
you want
Michael's
or what you're perceiving them as.
in Michael's to just to kind of back Michael up a little bit. The thing is, like,
Thank you.
He's right. Like something like 47 meters down. What was the one with Blake Lively where the
reef? No, not the reef.
The reef?
Is it? Was it the reef?
The trench.
I think
not the trench.
Not the trench.
I think it's the reef, right?
Yeah, is it the reef? That's what I thought.
I think
it
it's
was.
the reef. Yeah, I think it's the. I'm pretty sure it's the reef. What's the one, Brandon, with the girl on the surfboard and she's just trapped? It's like a soul. It's one of those.
That's the Blake Lively one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the reef.
Is that one where she's like just trapped and alone on a surfboard?
Yeah,
and she's surrounded by.
Well, not on the
she's being
surfboard.
hunted
She
by
gets
sharks.
stuck on the
Okay.
reef.
Yeah.
Or the shallows. The shallows. Thank you, Chris.
That's it. Okay, but yeah, so like those movies do well because audiences seem to like a serious shark movie like Jaws. Jaws did really well. Its sequels didn't. Deep Blue Sea did really well. That's a little sillier. But like actually that's a lot sillier. I don't know why that one did well. But
sillier.
that's the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, when you have a theater audience, like, okay, yeah, we get 47 meters down, the Sci-Fi Channel gets Sharktopus, but then you tell them, hey, Warner Brothers is making a film that's the tone of Sharktopus, but with a hell of a lot more money attached to it. I don't know. I really don't know if the audience is going to be there for it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Brandon. I just that is the problem that I have, or not necessarily problem I have, but just my fear is not just what this means for this movie, but what it means for movies going forward. Giant monster movies going forward, because
Warner Brothers seems to be in the business of making giant monster movies, whether or not they do well or not.
Yeah, and that's good. But on one hand, it's like American audiences, the general audience, wake up. Like we had Fast X come out, and that is every bit as silly and dumb as this movie, yet this movie is not going to do as well because it's a giant monster. And that's just the nature of American monster movies. I mean, that is
it's the same
tragedy.
thing we've been fighting with the Godzilla films. The reason, as the Godzilla films have been doing worse and worse in the box office. In fairness, GVK gets a pass because it was during COVID, so we really don't know how well they'll do until GXK. But still,
yeah. But it's just that is the tragedy of being a giant monster fan in America, is that the general audiences are never going to view them as anything other than stupid, and they will not go out to it. Like fans like us will, but yeah, that is the tragedy of being a
taste.
Yeah,
that's true. That's
I
true.
don't know.
That is so
I'd like
true.
to think the attitude is shifting.
Until if GXK makes $600 million at the box office easily, not like struggling for months, I will agree.
I mean, given the state of a lot of Hollywood franchises right now, the MonsterVerse is doing comparatively well, I would say.
Yeah. Hey, Brendan, our friend over at the Autistic Lizard Productions YouTube channel. So glad to see you in the chat. Thank you for joining us.
Brendan, we can't wait to be with you during one of your streams. I know we have an open invitation from you.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think what might save this film, because I'm also this thing is not going to be $1 billion surprise. It really is not. It's not going to happen. But here's what I think might save it. A couple of things. We've already talked about a few things. If it's going to be a success, I think a major component is going to be its lack of pretension, because I think people are just more and more tired of how most blockbuster movies work these days. They're starting to see the cracks, and they're starting to see, they're starting to get bored with things that have been going on for a long. Like, people are dropping off of Marvel right now. They're not. They're making money. They're pulling in money, but they're not pulling in pre-Endgame money. A couple have, but not all of them have, and that's a whole can of worms I won't get into. But I think people want to go into a movie that's not gonna. Just, I don't know, like something that's new, something that's a little bit silly, something that just lacks any kind of pretense of take this seriously. I think that if you get enough different people, the shark people, the Jaws people, the kaiju people, the people who are, who don't want a preachy movie, you know what I mean? They want to go into a movie and just have fun.
So there's that crowd.
Yeah, the summer blockbuster people, those people, if you can get enough of those people, like maybe 5 or 6 different factions of movie fans to show up, you could get 400 mil out of this thing.
Well, the question is, how do you get those people to look at this and not say, "I'll wait till it's streaming on Max"?
So that's the other problem. Is a lot of movies are struggling with that.
You know what they should have done?
Problem with movies nowadays.
It's
the I'll wait till it's on video problem.
But Marvel doesn't have that problem. Even at this point, Marvel doesn't necessarily have that problem. We saw that with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. People flocked to the theaters for that. With Meg 2, I do wonder if maybe. I just wonder, like, what's that missing for people? What does the Meg to the Trend specifically, not anything else? Does Meg to the Trend have to say to audiences, "Come see this in theaters. This is an event. Don't wait for it to be."
Yeah,
Jason Statham without a shirt on.
Advantage of having a massive franchise and studio behind. Well, this has the Warner Brothers.
So Warner Brothers behind it.
And this is a franchise.
Yeah, it's the franchise pull.
But then you have to think, what kind of pull does the Meg franchise have?
Right.
It's one movie, like what does it have? It doesn't have a Marvel 39 movies, or it's not actually that much. I know it's not that much, but
I wonder
2,500 movies.
I wonder if this movie would have done better as counter programming in December when Dune comes out.
Oh, counter programming with Dune, but then you get Warner Brothers competing with Warner Brothers. I'm not sure.
Warner Brothers doesn't like to compete with itself.
What else is releasing in the Meg 2 general time slot? What would be its biggest competition?
July?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem,
which is not shaping up to be very good.
I haven't seen anything. No,
that looks incredible. What are you talking about?
TMNT? The TMNT looks like fun. Looks good to me.
Hard disagree, Nathan.
Nathan, you're wrong.
It looks different, but it doesn't look bad.
Can we all show of hands?
Nathan was lost to the void.
Who did that? Did he do that, or you do that, Michael?
I didn't do that. I promise. I didn't do that.
I can't do that, but I would have.
Okay. Was that just the best timing in the world?
No.
Nope. Okay. I didn't think so. That seemed a little suspicious.
Moving on to the next bit of news. So we've got an announcement of a title coming from SRS Cinema. It is The Whale God, and they have also said that there is more kaiju announcements coming. Hey, Jack, thanks for joining in the chat.
Jack!
And
yes,
Jack,
I'm waiting
I'd like
to strike.
Who he thinks is waiting to strike?
Who do you think, Nathan?
Three guesses.
Could be several people in this call.
Okay. So Whale God. What's everybody's thoughts on Whale God?
I've been waiting.
I've never seen the Whale God. I'm very excited for it. I will be picking that. I will be picking that up from SRS. And the fact that SRS got Whale God,
huge. It's huge.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal because I don't buy a lot of SRS releases because a lot of them, let's just face it, a lot of them are crap. So, I'm sorry, Danny. You buy everything. I'm sorry.
He wasn't the worst one.
you buy everything because you want to support everything, and that is very commendable of you, sir. But you have to admit, 90% of their catalog is crap. It's schlocky crap, and I'm very excited for the World God.
Yeah, what I have to say is, Ron, if you're listening or watching, let Danny and I do a commentary.
Oh man, I would. Okay, the Whale God is one of the best quote unquote undiscovered quote unquote kaiju things in the West. It's not a kaiju movie. I need to be very clear about that. It's not it's kaiju adjacent, but it is a Jidaigeki period drama. That's really what it is. But it's got all of the things in it. It's kind of like The Host. Like, you can make an argument that The Host is kaiju as a kaiju movie. I consider it more kaiju adjacent. But it's certainly part of the genre in its own kind of branched way. That's how I think
it's tokusatsu too, because they do the special effects in it. So
it's adjacent. It's part of the family. It's part of the. It's like a cousin, and because not only is this giant whale practical effects, not only is it made by a rare pre-Gamera Dai kaiju or creature feature, but it's got Akira Ifukube did the music. And it's as good as you think it will be because the man never composed a bad score. It's got Kojiro Hongo, who was in a handful of the Showa Gamera films and a lot of Jidaigeki films and the yokai films and Daimajin. It's got Shintaro Katsu in it. It's got Zatoichi, and it's got oh my gosh, who else is in this movie?
There's one big name you have to mention.
Well, I mean Takashi Shimura. Takashi Shimura's in this. And her name is escaping me, but she plays the heroine in Gamera versus Barugon. What's her name?
I remember the character's name, but I can't remember her name.
Oh, what's her name? I'm gonna look it up.
It's Dio from
no, that was Kumi Mizuno.
No, you're talking about that. You're thinking of the Heisei trilogy.
You're talking about Sea Monster.
Yes.
No, he's talking about Gamera versus Barugon.
Kyoko Inami. That's who I'm thinking of. In Gamera versus Barugon. That's who I was thinking of. But yeah, she's in it. Amazing cast, amazing technical. This movie is so good. It is so good. It is, like I said, it's like an undiscovered gem outside of Japan. And again, whenever SRS announces things that I've seen because I tracked them down forever ago, like I see it as twofold for me because I want to get it and support the release. So I can have an official release. Obviously, I want to support them so we get more. And just because I love this genre so much. But also, I'm excited for people to see it who haven't seen it before. That's my big thing.
And if I can sell it a bit to people from what I have read about it, because I've read a little bit about the movie over the years. It sounds like a Japanese take on Moby Dick in some ways.
It is. It is a man who is hell-bent on, and this is my one-sentence description, there's a village in ancient Japan, and this whale has been killing fishermen for generations, and for 3 generations, this one family has been trying to take it out, and the whale has killed grandpa and dad, and the son is just, that this is his entire, he is laser-focused. He wants nothing more than to see this whale dead. And that's the movie, and it's dramatic and amazing. And I mean, when you got Kojiro Hongo and Shintaro Katsu going at, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I love that novel, so I am looking forward to seeing this. And I'm not opening this can of worms necessarily, but Moby Dick is a kaiju. Fight me after the stream.
I will.
Also, correction, I was wrong. You're right, I was wrong. I made a mistake. It's Sueko from Son of Godzilla, not Dio. Sorry.
Still a different actress.
Nathan, did you hear that we agreed on something?
Huh?
We agreed on something, Nathan.
What? Moby Dick is a kaiju?
Yeah.
Moby Dick is a kaiju.
Oh,
I agree. I mean, nobody cares about my definition of kaiju because my definition of kaiju is very loose.
Hey, I will take your definition of kaiju over the Littlest Gatekeeper's definition of kaiju.
I was about to say, you better be glad Elijah didn't show up because he would take it
as I was always say, if Clifford is a kaiju, and so is Moby Dick.
Yep.
Anyway,
Brandon's been lost to the void.
Brandon has.
I gotta bring him back because he doesn't have the ability to bring himself back.
Start placing your bets now, Chad. Who's the next one to get?
See, okay, so here's the thing. I
lost my spot.
There he is. He heard it.
No!
So Elijah does.
Tattled on you.
So Elijah does distinguish.
You're not here. You're not here.
I was going to bring this up though. Elijah
Look at
does
that chat.
bring up the distinction that they have to be Japanese, but the whale god is Japanese, so the whale in the whale god should count as a kaiju. So, yeah.
It doesn't. No, I take umbrage with that definition because I get that kaiju is a Japanese word, but it doesn't literally translate to Japanese monster.
No, it was Chinese. It's actually a Chinese word anyway. It's not a Japanese word.
You're right, Travis.
I mean, I'm just gonna say,
welcome to the
moving,
rest of the
okay,
stream.
anyway,
unless we
moving
move
on.
We're gonna just let Jack and Elijah have fun in the chat, arguing with us silently about what kaiju is.
If Elijah wants to have this debate, he is welcome to come on right now.
No,
we've got news.
No. We've got to talk about. So okay, real quick. Moving. So one last question.
Jack's
one last
comment.
question.
Please put up Jack's comment, please.
Oh,
Just do it.
Jesus.
Just do it. Just do it. Thank you. You may now continue. I apologize for interrupting.
Okay. Now, one question I did want to ask. So SRS, along with this announcement, did say that there was more kaiju-related things coming down the line. What do you think is going to be next? Like, they got the whale guy. What do you think they're hinting at?
I'm wondering
I had a list, but I can't remember all
the lost episode of Ultra 7.
No,
episode 12.
Never happening.
That is not lost. It is just under lock and free.
Yeah, it's just gone.
Right? It's in the same vault.
It's not letting that out.
I mean, it's not.
It's in the same vault as Song of the South. So it's
Gamera versus Gara Shark.
Gara Shark, and that movie never even got finished.
The kaiju version of Song of the South.
Now you're just on track.
Slippery slope.
That was half human.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, half human.
It's the apple juice talking.
Yeah.
It's not the apple juice.
No, but I mean, because SRS does like what Michael said. SRS does do a lot of really cheesy, really dumb movies, but they also have done. Like they were the ones that released Howl from Beyond the Fog, and now they're doing Whale God. It's like, so they do get some really good stuff in their library too. So
and great Buddha Arrival. I would say Howl, Great Buddha Arrival, and the Whale God have way more dignity than to be on.
I would say Whale has more dignity than most of their titles too.
So my thought on this is twofold. They said that because my initial thought was it has to be Yuzo, like it has to be.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, it has to be Yuzo. What is it? The Greatest Battle in Tokyo. Greatest Battle in Tokyo. A movie I've been dying to see from Yoshikazu Ishii, the guy who did Attack of the Giant Teacher, which is another movie they put out. That makes sense, and I want them to release that film, and I imagine they will eventually, but. Ron Bonk has gone on record as saying that these two acquisitions are, quote, I'm paraphrasing, but basically, quote, two of the biggest of his career, two of the biggest acquisitions. And one of them's Whale God. That has me thinking that this might very well be another thing they licensed from Kadokawa. So that makes me think what's left. What's left from the Kadokawa library that would fall under...
I mean, they've got... all the Gameras are out. A couple of their Invisible Man movies are out. They got Whale God.
Yes, Jack. Please, I want this to happen.
Yes.
It makes sense. I mean,
so,
it doesn't.
Danny, what are you getting at? Because
I mean, Nick Cage is a Godzilla fan.
This is true. There's a picture of him holding the poster for this movie. So I don't know, because the only thing, and I know that there are a couple of kind of period piece films that have creatures in them that they might have been able to license. The only thing that's really coming to my head right now, and I doubt this is it, is Great Yokai War Guardians. I doubt that they would. That doesn't make sense to me. So that's the only one that's coming to my head. But
because that's the only one they haven't done yet, because they've done the other yokai movies.
I mean,
Danny, remind me, who made Daigoro versus Goliath?
Oh, that's
it was Supro and-
Subaraya and Toho
Subaraya,
co-production.
Okay, then probably won't be that.
If I mean, they haven't ever worked with Toho or Subaraya before, so I can't imagine that would be it. If they really want to, I mean, they won't do this, but if we're talking just Katakawa stuff, they don't do television, but I mean, this is just a plea to the heavens for somebody to please put.
Show,
that's
though.
what I was about to say. I was literally about to say that.
But that's a television show.
Imagine
canon. They wouldn't do it, but I adore Daimajin Kanon. I would love to see that show get an official release. It won't be from them. I don't know what it could be. I'm going to go into my... Oh my god, no. I mean, yes, it's...
A new player has entered the field.
Okay.
Why?
I'm not having this debate.
Elijah, you are not allowed to stir crap up.
We do not have time.
All right,
we don't have time.
Elijah, question.
You are asking for a can of graboids to be unleashed upon this chat.
I'm gonna wrangle the cats here. Elijah, help me out. My brain has turned into mashed potatoes. Give me another Katakawa-owned Daiei film, probably Showa era, that it's not Gamera, Daimajin, or Yokai related, and also isn't Whale God, that they might have gotten their hands on.
Buddha, Demon of Mount O.
That's the one.
Wind velocity 75 meters. Blackout Tokyo.
Yes.
There's various ghost stories, ghost cat movies, and other things they could also do.
Buddha was the one I was trying to name, and I couldn't think of it.
I don't think they got Katakawa.
Okay, so you don't. Okay, so they obviously had to license. Yes, Kim, this is true. They obviously had to license Whale God through them. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you think this other one is from someone else?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Whale God has been something in the works for about 4 years. So
you mentioned this to me. You mentioned this to
me as well.
I'm not gonna. I don't think this is my place to talk about it.
Fair enough.
But that's been something that's been in the works for about 4 years.
Nice. I'm happy that Ron got this to go through. Not just because I desperately want this film on disc in America, but I'm just happy for him that he got it through. That's really cool.
Yeah, if I'm gonna tell you right now, if SRS didn't release it, I'd find a boot because I want it on the film vault.
So I heard a butt.
I will say, I think they might have worked with another major Japanese studio. I don't know, but just thinking off the top of my head, there is a Nikatsu Kaiju movie. Now Nikatsu Kaiju movie. It wasn't a Nikatsu film, but Nikatsu acquired the international rights. There's a Toei Shochiku film that I'm sure has been requested a lot. And then, I mean, if we're going to be like crazy psychotic, there's a Subaraya Toho co-production that I'm thinking of as well.
Yeah, Daigoro versus Goliath.
We mentioned that one. If they got that, that's a lot more of that has an SRS vibe to it. I feel like if Toho was gonna be like, if they were gonna negotiate on one, that's the one they'd wiggle on a little bit more. Subaraya just loves to give things to people, so they probably wouldn't be that hard to deal with.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did they have to give some sort of approval for War of the God Monsters, technically?
They got... So, Ron emailed...
Oh, now he's fallen into the ether.
Looks like he's just having internet issues, guys. It looks like, so he'll be back.
It's all good.
He emailed Subaraya, Ron did, and wanted to make sure that it was okay. Because the funny thing is, it's not only got Subaraya produced, it's all Subaraya produced footage, but for that film specifically, it also included footage from the founding of the Ming Dynasty, which is a Taiwanese film that Subaraya did work on. They were commissioned to work on it, but they didn't actually own that. And
sorry, he just shows back up with a cat.
So, Mr. Bond, welcome to my live stream.
Kim, the stream is complete.
I'm not drunk enough to say what I was gonna say.
No, you're not.
No, I know
what you just confirmed. It wasn't apple juice.
Gotcha.
Go ahead. Y'all finish what you were saying.
But Ron did message Subaraya and got their approval to release it. I saw Robert brought up Ghost Cat Rhapsody. I'd love to see that, but I don't think that's high profile enough because 3Y is an independent small studio.
High profile and SRS don't really go together, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
but
this is true.
Whalegut's pretty high profile.
This is true, but we should be getting that announcement for the SRS title tomorrow or Tuesday.
Really?
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
He's in good with Ron.
Well,
He and
then
Ron
we
get
will
coffee
discuss
later.
it next week whenever we find out what that announcement is.
Nice.
So,
If it's a certain announcement, then I'm definitely going to be here because I got to hype it up.
okay, then yes, you got to make sure you're here then.
Littlefoot 2, The Search for More Money.
No, it's
Yes.
no, what was it? It's
Zillafoot, War of the Monsters.
War of the Monsters.
Yeah.
I'm working on that episode. Okay, I've been in the middle of finalizing it.
Yeah, you took you said 8 months ago.
Yeah,
Ron did.
All right.
Time to move on. What's the next?
Yeah,
thing?
we're running short on time, so we got to get going. So are you sticking around, Elijah, or were you just popping in to show us all up on your knowledge of obscure?
Do some flexing here.
Put those guns away, man. Dear.
I could stick around. I can stick around.
Okay, all right. Well, the next bit of news, we were just going to share quick thoughts. Keep it about a minute long if you can. It's the Ultraman season 3, the final season of the anime from Netflix, was released a couple of weeks ago, and we've all seen it, I think. Brandon, have you even seen it? Oh, okay. I know you talked about wanting to watch it, but I didn't know if you'd actually seen it.
Yeah, we were because I was out of town. We
Oh,
haven't had a chance to watch it. There's a whole perfect storm because Disney Plus announced they're going to take all like a bunch of stuff off their service. So I was like, shit, I got to watch all this. And then we went out of town, and I'm like, well, so soon, hopefully.
I need to find the list of what they're getting rid of.
It's already too late. They're all gone.
Yeah, they're all gone. They all was it today? I think they pulled
Friday.
them all.
Friday.
Hashtag physical media forever.
When they took off that, I know at least us comic book fans are going to be a little upset about the Runaways. Hulu
I'm
Marvel
shocked
series.
that they took out the Runaways. This isn't the stream for that. Join my stream later on tonight to talk about that. No, I'm kidding.
I was really surprised by a couple of them, but that was one of them I was really surprised about. Michael,
real quickly, I just want to say about Ultraman. There is a review because this is the only thing I'm here to do. There's a review on the website from Nathan of Ultraman season 3, so you can check that out. It's on the website.
Spoiler free.
It's very good. Check it out.
KaijuRamenmedia.com. It's scrolling at the bottom if you are interested in checking out the full detailed review. But just quick thoughts, Michael. What's your quick thoughts on the finale of the Ultraman anime?
Oh, I loved it. You and I watched it together while you were here for the week after AMA, and I loved it. I thought the story was great. The animation outside the fight sequences was still crap, but we dealt with it because the story was so good. It's much better than season 2, which I felt like season 2 was just them half-assing the whole thing because but we don't have time for that. If you could just watch season 1 and then season 3 and just skip all the middle, there are some story beats in season 2 that you need to know.
And characters.
Taro gets added.
Are those characters really all that important?
Who needs Taro?
Taro plays such an important part in season 3, though. He really does. He's such a.
I enjoy.
Taro is literally the worst Ultra series from the Showa era.
Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the anime.
Taro's just bad. He's bad. So
anyway,
into the void. So
we have cast you out.
My quick thoughts.
So far, Danny and Michael want to happen.
So my quick thoughts. I agree with Michael that it's a step up from season 2, story wise, even animation wise. I think it was a step up. And overall, just quality was a step up. My biggest complaint about this, and it has to do with just the Netflix model in general, is because the fact that they canceled this too soon. There's so much that they could have done with this. If you know the manga that it's based on, the manga went for way many volumes. It's still going.
Yeah, it hasn't ended
So it's like, there's so much they could have done and they didn't do it. So I think there was a lot of missed opportunity. But from what we got, it was a decent conclusion. I liked it. I do want to say goodbye to Life is Lovely. Thank you for joining us all the way from Hawaii. Aloha. Brandon, we know you hadn't seen it, so is there anything you want to share other than just check out Nathan's full review on the website?
Nope, it's a good review. I'm the website editor. I'm allowed to say that, so check it out.
Okay. Nathan, your full review is on the website, so what's your just quick thoughts?
I think it's the best of the 3 seasons. Especially coming off of season 2. Season 2 was shorter, but it was a slog for me to get through. I had to make myself stop watching this one because it just kept going. And there's lots of really fun Easter eggs and callbacks if you're an Ultraman fan, particularly if you like Showa. And they introduce some. There are shades of Shin Ultraman in it. That's as spoilery as I'll get in this. But it feels more anime compared to the other 2. Season 1's more Marvel. Season 2 tried to be anime, but not really. Well, no, I see this one's more like an Ultra series. But anyway, that's my quick thoughts on it. If you like Ultraman or you like anime and you like what you've seen so far,
I have to ask Nathan. What did you think of the cape?
I love the cape. What are you talking about? I love the capes. You're the weirdo who hates capes.
Did you think the final Ultra form? Did you think it looked like Ultraman powered to you?
Once you pointed that out to me and I looked at it again, yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah,
because we were watching it and I turned to Travis. I said, Nathan is gonna love this because this looks like Ultraman powered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Elijah, what's your thoughts? Quick thoughts.
I have no idea. I've watched season 1 and that's it.
Okay, that's right. You hate anime, so
he hates animation.
What's your quick thoughts?
Guys. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. All right. So 3 of the 6 of us have actually seen this anime.
Danny,
I'm gonna watch it.
Danny, there are capes, and the final Ultraman looks like Ultraman powered. I'm sorry.
And there's a new villain, and there's a new villainess in this, and the animators love her butt.
Oh yes, there was a lot of butt shots. Not even her. Now, to be fair, they were very. I don't know how else to say it. They showed a lot of butts of some of the Ultramen too. So I mean, it wasn't just her. Like they showed butts just in general.
Liked hers.
There were a lot of butt shots in this whole anime. So yeah. But that's our thoughts. I just wish they could have done more. I wish they would have done more, but it's Netflix. What are you gonna do? Netflix does their thing.
Oh dear.
Okay, moving on. So during All Monsters Attack, we did a live stream that a lot of people probably didn't hear because the audio was absolute garbage. But during that live stream, during All Monsters Attack, we did get the reveal of one of the kaiju that's going to be in the new Gamera anime. We did share our thoughts there, so I don't want the five of the 6 of us to really talk too much about this. I want Brandon, who wasn't there, to actually get a chance to share his thoughts.
I'm gonna yeah, I appreciate that. Real quickly though, I wrote an article on the website because Michael said, hey, you should write a thing about speculating what Gamera villains could be in the thing, because we knew there were 5. We knew Gauss was the first one. Mm-hmm. And then we didn't know, and then every subsequent monster has been wrong. And I find that just so funny.
I just don't see how that's possible. I mean, there's only like what 9? There's only 9 Gamera monsters total, and how you can out of 5 you can get 3 of them wrong.
Yeah, well, it's a special talent, I gotta say. No,
all of them are counting.
I'm trying to count.
I still hold that no matter how wrong no matter how wrong I am about Nathan. No matter how wrong I am about the monsters, I still hold that the last 2 are going to be Heisei monsters. I think the first 3 were always meant to be Showa, and then the last 2 will be Heisei. That's my belief. I'm sticking to it. I don't care how wrong I am about it.
There's 13 monsters.
13.
I have to.
I mean, if you want to get
Barugon, Gaios, Space Gaios, Guiron, Virus, Jiger, Zigra, the Legion, drones. Legion.
We're not talking about.
Boy, you are something else, buddy.
Yeah, because you're really you're really splitting hairs there.
There's 13. There's 13.
I mean, I have to agree with Elijah.
I think clearly the last monster will be Baby Iris. Like that,
Baby
that's what,
Iris,
and it won't get older. The end boss will just be
I do legitimately think Iris is going to show up. I am on Brandon's side, at least with one Heisei. I think there's going to be Iris is going to be the Heisei monster that will appear.
But here's the trap that we don't need to fall into. If it's not Iris, don't be disappointed.
Oh no.
Don't be disappointed.
I am so excited for this show. Like I don't care who's in it.
Like this isn't so much for you guys. It's for just anyone out there who happens to be listening. If you have your heart set and you're on a monster and you really want the directors of this show who already made the show to read your mind, and it's not what you told them to read your mind about, don't be disappointed. Just go with it. Just go with the show. Go with the flow. Go with the show flow. So
we've still got 2 more monsters to be revealed because we've got Gauss has already been revealed, Zigra's been revealed, and what was the other one?
Gauss, Jiger, and Zigra are the only ones.
Jiger, that was the other one. Jiger. Yeah, Gauss, Jiger, and Zigra have all been revealed. So we still have 2 more monsters that's going to be revealed. I do think one of them is going to be Iris, but I wouldn't be disappointed if it wasn't. I'm fine with them not going with it.
I was wrong. I got Zigra right.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Zigra is good. That's the one that was just revealed a couple of weeks ago. So,
I'm really excited. I really love judging from the way they've already reinterpreted. What's his name? I forgot the second monster's name.
Jiger.
Thank you. I'm really excited. We saw the silhouette. I'm really excited to see what this new Zigra looks like.
Yeah, we got a look at what
just kind of a silhouette though, not really a full what that's going to really look like.
We got like a top down view with all the details.
Yeah, we got the top down view.
We haven't seen it.
It looks like a manta ray.
Yeah, we haven't seen it turned. We haven't seen it turned around and looked at from every angle.
And I want to say also they need a new poster.
We haven't looked up its skirt yet, so
because
we don't know exactly what it looks like.
That main poster design is terrible because they keep populating it with the monsters that are revealed, and it's getting so cluttered. And I'm like, make a new poster. My God.
Yeah.
Somebody
Most
please
Japanese posters are cluttered.
Take Michael's juice away from him.
Oh, come on.
No,
I'm just all these extra little banners I have to go in and now delete because they're just he keeps adding them to the thing and they're in here forever.
Are you saying that Michael's been? No, God.
Michael, you just deleted the one that had the 10% thing.
Oh crap, Travis.
Michael, have you been?
There it is.
All right, moving on to the last little bit of news for movies and TV. We just want to mention that Shin Kamen Rider, if you are excited to see Shin Kamen Rider, but it hasn't been available, the tickets haven't been available in your area, they added a new day and some new theaters to their list of showings. So if you haven't checked it recently and you're still wanting to go see it, check it out. Make sure, because they may have added one nearby. So if you want to go see it, look it up.
Show of hands, who's seeing it?
I'll do my best. I don't know if I'll make it.
Elijah, you're going to see Shin Kamen Rider?
Absolutely. I am pumped. I'm gonna see it Wednesday night. I'm gonna see if I can watch it again. I'm hoping Rex, the co-host for my podcast, I'm hoping that he gets to see it because I've never seen him more excited to watch a movie. I hope it's good. I really hope it's good because I mean, granted, all I can prove is that I own Kamen Rider Kuga and Kamen Rider 01, but I want to get into Kamen Rider.
No, you have V3, don't you?
Oh, that's right. I have V3 too. Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have Ryuki.
That's the only one I'm missing.
Yeah.
And Black.
then Jay and Zeto and all's coming out this year later.
And when that gets released, I will absolutely buy that, and I will watch those immediately. I'll break my chronological order for that.
Well, you've seen Zeto because we did Zeto during Kaiju Quarantine 3. Yeah. So, but yeah, they're so good. Anyway, but that was just a quick thing. We're done with the movies and television news. We can move on to toys and collectibles, and this is where I can tune out and just go to sleep.
This is also known as the Michael Corner.
This is okay. So before we actually get started with toys and collectibles, we actually have we have to pay off what we talked about at the top of the show. So, Danny boy, if you don't mind, can you read the ad for us?
Not in that accent.
No. All right.
No, in the accent.
In the accent. Let's see here. Toku Toy Town online shop. This one. Just want to make sure I'm looking at the right one here. All right. Toku Toy Town is an online shop committed to bringing serious collectors and casual fans alike the very best, rarest, and coolest in the world of sofubi, tokusatsu toys, and kaiju collectibles. Toku Toy Town should be the first place you look when you're trying to hunt down that hard-to-find event-exclusive Maru-san. Most importantly, they understand your journey because they are collectors too. They've been incredibly generous to provide our listeners with the discount code RAMEN, that's RAMEN, to use at checkout and receive 10%, that is 0% off your next order. No minimums to buy, unlimited uses, fast shipping, and great customer service. Again, that's code RAMEN for 10% off your next purchase at tokutoytown.com.
And just real quick, here is a look at the website here. They've got a lot of fantastic things. Jay, who is a friend of ours who runs this, is just an incredibly generous person. Go check out Toku Toy Town because they have a lot of fantastic stuff, a lot of great kaiju, sofubi, Kamen Rider. Although I need to talk to Jay about his Kamen Rider. It's a little sparse, just a little bit sparse. We can talk about his Kamen Rider collection. But yes, go check them out.
Okay, so hang on one momento because I have to get my thing here set up. Wrong one. There we go. So for our first story, let me blow up the thing here.
Is this a certain expensive golden dragon?
No, not yet. I'm saving that for last. We got to talk about the first story is the thing that broke the internet. That is, we have to talk about the thing.
Yes. I'm not big on collectibles, but my goodness, yes.
We have to talk about the thing that broke the internet first. So give me just a moment to get set up or to share my screen.
I am no joke. I don't mean to say this. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm really glad you guys missed last week because I really wanted to talk about this.
Yes.
Okay, I need to get going soon, but I'll stay for this thing.
Right?
Okay,
yeah,
so
like me too. But
so they released. Just as this is a collaboration between. This is the what is it called, Danny?
Shin Universe something.
Shin Universe.
Yes.
Shin
Yeah,
Universe.
it's a SJHU project Shin Universe Robo.
Mhm. So they released a teaser trailer to go along with this figure that they're
So cool.
that they're going to be releasing through SMP, which is the Shokugan modeling project, with these little 6-inch plastic snap together model kits. And so we're getting Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider, but essentially they're giving us
an Ava Unit 1.
and
Yeah,
AV
Ava
Unit.
Unit
Well, no
1.
one cares about EVA Unit 1.
We did. Hold on. We did 2 5-hour-long episodes on the Evangelion franchise. 2.
Who needs Evangelion? It's literally the worst thing ever.
Anyway,
I don't want to
play
hear
the
from you anymore, Elijah.
Anyway. So essentially, we're getting Shin Sentai based on this trailer. So
play the thing.
I'm gonna play the trailer. I'm gonna play the
Ho
trailer.
ho, wherever you are, don't copyright us.
Yeah, this
so
was
good.
just like okay. So I didn't know what this trailer or this little clip was. I was just going to watch it, and I was like, "Oh, fun!" You know, it's a little video of all of them fighting a monster together. Then this happens.
This is so cool.
And it's like, wait a minute, what? Wait a minute, what?
I love this so much. Like, that is so cool.
This is the best video on YouTube, actually. I'm willing to die
It's
on
the most Japanese thing that could
And
ever
he uses the AT field to make the shield.
And
Oh
it's
my
real.
god.
It's real. Like, that's my. They built a suit, and that I love that. I love
They
that
built the suit.
Yeah, it's a real suit. Like, it's a real, actual practical suit.
I want a toy of that monster. I want a toy of it.
And there's actual explosions.
Japanese pop culture, the Megazord.
It's just like, I love how Godzilla looks like he's been taxidermied and put on a hunter's
I know, right? He does.
And it's just
Well, I really like.
Kamen Rider's on top. It's just on top.
Yes,
I really
that's
love
my
that they
favorite
gave
part.
it.
Kamen Rider's piloting it.
Well, because Kamen Rider is kind of the odd man out in this figure collection, and then making him the head is like, oh yeah, I'm with you now. That makes sense.
And apparently
Yeah.
he does a rider kick.
And he does a rider kick.
Oh, that's so cool.
Kim, don't you mean oh dear Godzilla? But Tiff.
It's
So
I have 5 words. I'll take your entire stock.
Yeah, I may have to
so
buy
gentlemen, thoughts and opinions. Go.
One at a time.
Insane. I want one.
I mean, yeah, it looks incredible. Like I love how stupid it is. Like, quite frankly, it's ridiculously stupid, and I'm so into it.
They made Godzilla a part of a Transformers combiner. Like he's a combiner with all these other ones.
Just seeing Ultraman and Ava 1 like turn into the arms and the legs. I was just like, holy shit.
I hope the toys are just like that. I hope they transform. Like, you get individual pieces and they transform just like that.
They do.
That's how you do it. That's the
You
thing.
do.
That's
and
how
I
it
was
works.
getting ready to show you, Nathan.
Oh, okay. You got the pictures.
I have pictures, but I also have the website here as well.
Because I have the pictures here.
Right. So I have the website here pulled up. Our friends over at kaijubattle.net has all the pictures of this thing. And I've got more pictures to show.
I love that the sword is just the Spacium beam, right?
Yeah, the Spacium beam. Yes, it's so great. It's so Chris Degelman said, "I have to draw this thing." More power to you, Chris, because I ain't touching this thing.
Yeah, pull up the Ava figure for me. I know you guys don't care, but like, that's like the thing that's so cool is that's a really good Ava figure.
It is.
I care about it. I think it's cool looking.
It's we joke about Ava, but no, seriously, it's so cool. One of the things one of my favorite comments that was made about this was when Lisa Nafziger said, "Now come time for Kaiju Lie or Monstertober or whatever that she does the drawing challenges. But one of you guys better not suggest this because this thing's going to be a nightmare to try to draw. But I know a lot of artists have already started doing fan art of this thing.
Matt Frank has already started sketching something.
Yes.
based
Of course
on
he
this.
has.
Of course,
Yeah,
He's
there's
on
been
it,
a few
man.
of them. There's a
He's
few
on
of
it.
them that's already done. But
Well, he's
now,
a big Sentai guy, so this makes a lot
the
of sense for him.
joke and the silliness and the awesomeness of this is all great until you see the price tag.
Yes, that is.
Then
it's
all
very
fun goes out the window.
Is this
Like, the
it?
joke has run its course.
It's
We're good.
listed. It's listed for 23,100 yen, which
Which is
in
about-
USD, which is $164 and some change in USD.
Okay,
Is
that's
what
not
it's-
nearly. I was like, please don't tell me they had 4 digits.
No.
No. Which okay, so to put this in perspective, this is through the Shokugan modeling project. That is the typical price tag for a Shokugan for an SMP figure because I don't have any things real handy with me right now, but they're all on my bottom shelf. But they are these very highly detailed, very articulated, mini little plastic model kits that you have to put together yourself. You have to put stickers on, all that stuff yourself. So the price tag is warranted. Now, I first saw these things come out. People were talking about them being like $300, which ends up being, I don't know how, I can't do math in my head, but it's like so much, like I don't know how much it was per figure, but $164 USD for something like this is not terrible. That's pretty in line with all the other SMP releases. Would
No,
you say,
it
Danny?
wasn't. It's not bad, but I think I
Look,
was thinking of the.
hold on. I just spent $100 on a jacket, so like
No,
that's really not that bad.
It's not that bad.
No.
What I was thinking of was what was it? Big Bad Toy Store had them had the
For $300.
for 300. That's the ones I was talking about. That's the price
Right.
tag. I was like, okay, no, this is
Right.
the
So-
joke's run its course at this point.
Right. So that for on Big Bad Toy Store, they are listed at, I will tell you in just a moment if they're still there, and they are not still visible on the website. Crap.
Maybe they sold out.
I hope not. Not for that price tag.
Not for that price
I
tag.
don't
They're not
think
going to
so.
sell out. Not for
You
that
know,
price
people
tag.
would
But
think
they
it
but
would- people would think that it's
but
the
they
right
were-
price tag, right? Because it's a
but
it's
they
a Japanese
were
import.
listed for $300 on Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah.
People were freaking out. Now I don't know if that's price of the fig. If you buy it directly from Premium Bandai, you pay $164 plus shipping. So we know that shipping from Japan is you're looking at probably $30-$40 give or take. So that's still not $300. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's actually not that bad.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad except for on Big Bad Toy Store, which I don't have any complaints about them as a company because I buy plenty of things from them. But why was it so much?
That's probably the markup that they had to do in order to make a profit off of the figure.
That Godzilla
Yeah.
face, man.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
don't know.
god! Like,
Putting it on the wrong thing.
and I love that it's the Ultraman and Ava heads are just on there. Like all the heads are just staring front. Like that's incredible. And Kim has a great comment in the like multiple people sat around a table, had a meeting, and decided yes, this needs to be a thing. I love shit like that because
Bless
this is one of
those
those
people,
times. This is those type of things where someone around the table was like, "What if we made a mech with Godzilla as the center?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And someone else had to say, "Yes, let's do that."
I saw the images of the toy first, and then I saw this little trailer they did for it, and I was just smiling like an idiot the whole time watching this video. And I stared at my phone after the video turned off, and all I could think to myself was, sometimes this world is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
What can I say?
The amount of people who had to say yes to this idea for
Genius.
it to come down to this point is amazing.
My hope
Like, the
for
fact that
humanity spiked a bit after
It just
after I
well,
saw
and
this.
the number of people who had to say, "Oh yes," push it through to the next person who said, "Yeah, let's do it." It's just like it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing.
And then they had to go to some other people and say, "Hey, can you make us a tokusatsu suit?
Can you build
promote
this for us?"
insane thing?"
They could have just
So
done
they said
CG.
yes.
They could have done CG. They could have, cheated. I'm going to say it. They could have cheated and done CG for an ad. It's a minute plus long.
And they have CG elements in the
They
ad.
built
so
already there.
suit, though.
But they built the suit. And just for that alone, I have eternal gratitude to these lunatics for doing this. But, look at this thing.
Shin Godzilla's head exists somewhere out there, and I want to see it. I just want it because I'm like,
I want it on my
someone
wall.
at Toho. I want like to see an interview with like the CEO of Toho, and it just be mounted on his wall in his office.
But that would mean destroying that beautiful suit, and that would be sad. But I don't know. If I were the CEO of Toho, I'd have said like, hey, that 9% of the suit. Could you make 2 of those? And then put a. And
Kamen Rider is the pilot. I love it. I love it.
He's the only one. He's the only one whose body wasn't horribly deformed into a. And
he's the one that. I mean, it's the one that makes the most sense because all these other things are gigantic, and Kamen Rider can't.
But it makes sense because the Cyclone, his motorcycle is what transforms into the head, and he's just the pilot.
Okay.
I love that.
I was also wondering if this is a bit of an homage to Toei Spider-Man because he pilots a mech.
Oh. You know what it really reminds me of is Ultraman Belial piloting Beryudora and Ultra Galaxy Legends. It's an amalgamation of for anybody out there who hasn't seen Ultra Galaxy Legends the movie. It's I won't get into too many spoilers, but I'll just say there's a monster in the movie that's a huge combination of all the bodies and body parts of like dozens and dozens of Ultra monsters, and about the 100 that was in the army, Belial's army, and he's just kind of in the top of the head, piloting it, and he's just sticking out of this thing's head, going ha 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 ha, like him piloting it like a mech suit, just like Shin Kamen Rider is here. And
Can I just say that one of the stupidest things about this figure, in like the best way possible, is that it's unnecessary as hell. Like this thing is incredibly unnecessary, right? Like Godzilla, exactly. Ultraman, and Eva do not need to make a mech and fight a bad guy. They're fine, but they're fine on their own. They're fine on their own. But no, it's it's the extraness that kills me about this. Where I'm just like, that's the overkill of like, let's just combine, probably make a far weaker thing, but we're still more powerful than whatever else is against us.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, that's like the textbook definition of art right there. It's unnecessary, quote unquote, and that's what this is. This is art personified. It is even more unnecessary.
This is cinema.
Yeah.
This is cinema.
So Chris Degelman said, I want to see more of that Toku suit. I cannot imagine that they went through all the trouble and the money to have that Toku suit built and it only be in that one.
It'll show up at conventions. It'll show up.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yes, but like I don't necessarily think that's only going to be it because as we know, the Shin Japan Heroes universe is like a thing. It's like a marketing thing to create a bunch of toys and games and whatnot. Not a movie, unfortunately. Not yet. But but I think we're going to get more marketing in the sense of like, toy commercials or game advertisements, or even they've got, what are those games called that they have in Japan which have like cinematics in them?
The pachinko game.
Pachinko.
I think we'll see this suit in like everywhere in the marketing for the SJ Shin Japan Heroes universe going forward.
I want to see this sucker fight the Yuji Sakai 54 suit they built a few years ago. I want to see them fight I want to see it fight the Gigan suit. I want to see all the new suits that they've built just final wars the heck out of something. Put them all. It's even if it's for a pachinko machine or some kind of ad or something. Just get all the practical suits in a room and just have them beat the tar out of each other.
Question real quick. Well, before I ask my question, Godzilla fan freaks, hello. Hey. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you in the chat. Question. Could we see this as or like the whole Shin Japan Heroes universe thing be a part of like some of the theme parks that they have in Japan? Could they
I would say
expand
so,
out to
yeah.
that? Could we
Because,
get a roller coaster with this thing as part of the roller coaster ride?
Well, that's a really good point, Travis. Because there's a Shin Godzilla Evangelion theme park ride at I think Universal Japan.
Yes.
Which is kind of the beginning of this. So yeah, I think it's very likely that we could see theme park tie-ins to this with this suit.
Yeah.
So allow me to be that guy.
Okay.
No.
Oh, no.
Get him off of here, quick.
Into the void.
Into the void.
As amazing
void,
as
that's what
this
it is, into the void.
is, as amazing as this is, I can't help.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Oh my god.
The internet gods have spoken.
All right, we can't be mean to this kid. Bring him back. How old is he?
Okay.
He's
18.
like 12. So
So-
you're really a child. It's fine.
Okay, real quick. First, now I have to say this.
Okay, you said Michael, you're welcome on my podcast anytime.
I know, man. I appreciate that.
So, as much as I love this, I can't help but be concerned.
Explain
And,
yourself.
In like 30 years, this stuff will there's no way it'll exist. Like not even as like stuff that can be reissued, because when Toho and Tsuburaya and Toei and Sunset, I think that's the name of Anno's company that owns Evangelion. As soon as they finally say, okay, the Shin Japan's Hero thing, that marketing stunt's done, we're done with our agreement, none of this will ever exist again, because I guarantee you they will never line up this way again to make it happen.
Right.
So-
No. This only exists as long as Anno is still a marketable name and a marketable person.
But like, so the amalgam universe doesn't exist anymore, but that still happened. It was still a beautiful moment of
I
time.
understood that reference.
Yeah.
Like who cares? Like, we are existing this moment of time. Let's relish
There
in
are
it.
4 of us on here who get that reference, and the rest of them don't know.
Okay, you know what? For real quickly, for those of you who don't know, the Amalgam Universe was when Marvel and DC decided, hey, let's make a crossover where we combine our characters. It can never be in print ever again because Marvel and DC will never be that cooperative ever again. But it was wonderful and beautiful, and I loved Darklaw and
Darklaw,
Super Soldier, Spider Boy.
Yes.
love him.
Spider Boy, and what was the Amazon, or just
I searched for years to get the whole collection. I finally did it a few years ago.
Oh wow, that's so cool, because I tried to do that back in the day, but I could never find them all.
Yeah.
So,
but like,
I've
that's
sold
my point.
collection
That's
now.
my point of like, yes, Elijah is absolutely correct. Once someone says no, the one of these arms is being ripped off forcefully, and that's true. But what's the harm in just existing in this moment of time and relishing in it? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it won't exist then is no reason it shouldn't exist now.
Right. Yeah. And it is something to look back on and be like, hey, I was there when this weird thing happened.
Well, it's the same thing with how, because stuff like this has technically happened before. If you go back to the late 80s and early 90s, and for quite a while, the Bandai Compati Hero video games had Gundam hanging out with Godzilla, hanging out with Kamen Rider, hanging out with Ultraman, like all these guys, and Sentai. And Eva wasn't a part of it yet because it didn't exist, but there are video games and manga, and there was even a live show in Japan in the early 90s where Godzilla and Ultraman and Kamen Rider and the Sentai characters and Gundam all played soccer together and hung out. And that stuff feels a lot like this, but that kind of thing won't happen again. You know what I mean? But even though that specific thing won't happen again, the fact that we're all these years later, 30 plus years later, and something like that is happening again, there's a video game where Gundam and Ultraman and Godzilla play soccer together. That's not too dissimilar from the wackiness of this thing. So who knows what the next cool thing 20 or 30 years from now
Right.
will be.
It's like thinking.
It's just cool.
It's like going back. It's like looking back in time and thinking to yourself, "Wow, what a cool moment for this to be in, where the stars just aligned so well that this could exist." Like Batman and Green Hornet crossing over, or like multiple TV show crossovers that used to have to be like, "Wow, what crazy circumstances had to line up just right for this weird thing in history to exist."
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Right, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And what's
Yeah,
so cool
exactly.
about seeing the Shin Japan Heroes universe is like, for the first time, I think in my pop culture history, I lived through the '90s, so I'm sure I missed a few things, but like it really feels like I'm living through like what a weird moment of time this is that I'm
Mhm.
experiencing firsthand. That I'll
Super
get
Smash
to
Brothers would be
right.
another
That'll get to in 30 years from now, as Elijah said. 30 years from now, and be like, wow, remember that weird moment in time?
Mhm. And it also, one thing I really like is that it really it gives everybody who's not familiar with the wackiness of Japanese marketing and getting to see something like this, and it's like no Japanese marketing. I mean, this is the kind of stuff they do. Like they are very, like, they don't necessarily, this is an extreme example of it, but like Japanese marketing is on another level. They are not the same as like American marketing companies. So yeah, it's very different. So getting to see people experience that for the first time too is really nice, because it's like, Japan's just weird when it comes to marketing things.
Weird and beautiful. Weird and beautiful.
We're creeping up on 2 hours, and I want to keep moving because we got a little bit more ground
Yes.
to cover.
All right,
So
I
we're
need
going
to get
now. Well,
going, guys. Dinner is
that's
ready
what I was
for
going
me,
to say.
so.
We want to go ahead and say goodbye. We're going to say goodbye probably to Brandon, to Nathan, and to Elijah. So, Brandon, starting with you, you want to give your plugs on everything that you're doing and where people can find you.
Yes, sure. Well, as you guys know, as I said before, I am grateful to be the website editor for KaijuRamamedia.com. I also run, co-host, executive produce the Fake Nerd Podcast family of podcasts, which, if you don't know, is a big pop culture podcast where we do movie news, TV news, video game news, reviews, things like that. Just tonight, we are actually going to be covering the first 2 Mission Impossible movies in our kind of lead up to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. We have just finished a major recap of the Indiana Jones films in the lead up to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So plenty of stuff for you guys to check out. If you go to our YouTube channel, our website is currently down. I'm trying to fix that, but our YouTube channel, Fake Nerd Podcast, just look us up, subscribe. Lots of things. Relevantly, I guess I can say other things. I have another show called Conversation, which has had the benefit of having 3 people on this stream. Nathan's episode is not out yet. It will be out in a couple of weeks. But I'm really excited. Hi, Kim. But I'm really excited to hear that. The first season had Michael and Travis. But yeah, so the Fake Nerd Podcast, family podcast. You can find me on all social medias, Fake Nerd Podcast there, and then BC McClure on Instagram and Twitter, and I also write stuff. But yeah, cool. Yeah, that's me.
And real quick, it is wild revisiting the first Mission Impossible movie, seeing where the series went. Because I just did that recently, and I'm like, wow, this movie does not fit in with the rest of them.
No, but it's really good still.
It's still good. It's still good, but it's just like seeing what it became, and it's like, wow, this is so different.
Yeah.
Anyway, Elijah, do you want to give your plugs?
I'm going to let Nathan go first. I think he's hungry.
Okay.
Yeah, not to mention I don't need my family yelling at me too much more right here. But no, I'm the editor of Kaijurama Magazine. I make frequent contributions to both the magazine and the website, so you can check that out. And I am the co-host of at least 3 podcasts right now. The Monster Island Film Vault, which is 3 parts film appreciation, 1 part audio drama. I'm also the co-host with several people in this call, most notably Travis of Henshin Men, which is mostly on hiatus right now. And then I would be remiss if I did not mention the Power Trip, which I co-host with
your most
Michael
popular
Hamilton.
show.
Keep telling yourself that.
It hurts only a little.
He does that for his own gain. I get it. But you can also check out my stuff as a writer on my author website, nathanjsmarchand.com. The Film Vault has its own website, monsterownfilmvault.com, and all of the podcasts are on all the socials.
Okay. Elijah, now it's your turn.
Hi, my name's Elijah. I am the production editor. Hi, guys. So my name's Elijah.
The impersonation of the impersonation.
I'm the production editor of Kaiju Ramen Media. I am a staff writer that frequently writes in this great, tremendously amazing magazine. Honestly, quite frankly, it's the greatest fanzine in the history of fanzines.
Getting triggered over here.
Goodbye, Elijah.
So it's great. Let me tell you, I also host one of the greatest
Oh, God.
podcasts in the history of podcasts. You probably have heard of it. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. It's on all the streaming sites. Let me tell you, it's great. I host Kaiju Conversation. It's a right now weekly. We're the greatest weekly podcast in the history of podcasts. We talk about all the greatest films in history, tokusatsu. We talk about kaiju, Japanese tokusatsu, and American giant monster movies. Kaiju Conversation, available on any podcast streaming site. You can follow us on Twitter at Kaiju_Converse and on Instagram at Kaiju Converse as well. If you want to follow me, the greatest person in the history of the world, you can follow me by going to YouTube and look up ET13 Productions. You've probably heard of it. It's the greatest YouTube channel ever. Besides this one, obviously this one has the greatest reviews, the greatest ratings. If you ask Fox News, we are the greatest, highest rated streaming on YouTube in the history of the world.
Don't worry, we're having him committed, everyone. And we're hauling him off.
And
It's
for
great.
anybody,
This is an impersonation
I have to
or if he's
respect you,
drunk.
Elijah, for doing that, and you committed to the bit, sir.
yeah. And for anybody who couldn't follow what he was saying, we will make sure to share all the links to all of everyone's information in the description of this episode when we post it, so you can check it out. But thank you guys for joining us. So yeah, now we can say goodbye to three of our
Bye.
panelists.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for having me as
Bye.
always.
We'll miss you, Brandon. We'll miss you, Elijah. Bye,
Bye, Nate.
Nathan.
Horrible. So mean.
Of course. Hashtag cancel Michael.
And we can now continue on with our toys and collectibles
I'm huge.
discussion.
Check it out.
We're gonna
Okay.
continue with news.
Now look, I've already had to complain about Michael doing stuff like that on this stream. We are family friendly.
What do you? Oh, that's not what I meant. I was doing a Mystery Science Theater reference. Come on, guys. Look,
I know, but
I've got the
still.
shirt. I'm in a mood. Oh,
Okay.
don't infer things about what I say.
Michael, you keep clicking on the wrong one. You need to click
This
on
is
that
cool
one.
too.
It's-
But
It's not me. It's not me. Anyway, let's move on. So, Yuji Sakai, Shin Godzilla, form number 4, Awakening version that everyone has been bitching and complaining about for years that has not come. So, it looks gorgeous. I'm glad people are finally going to get it. It's part of the correct. Danny, help me. What is his model kit line? Is it Godzilla Dreams or is it Godzilla Dreams from Yuji Sakai? Is that his line of model kits?
I'm pretty sure it's Godzilla Dreams. Adrian would know.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
it's part of the Yuji Sakai line. X Plus is going to be releasing this guy. This is going to be a Godzilla Store exclusive, and there's going to be 3 different variants. There's going to be a standard version, a Rick version, and a Godzilla Store exclusive version. I'm assuming what we're seeing here is the Godzilla Store exclusive version with the translucent vinyl and the translucent purple spines. I won't be picking this up. I've got my eye on something bigger. We'll talk about that later. But I think it's gorgeous. The price tag is not terrible for something like this. It is, let me find the yen to USD. It is
I
33,000.
legitimately thought you were going to say, let me find the yen to your yank. I'm sorry.
Let me find the yen. It's fine. Let me find the yen. We just had Elijah do a Donald Trump impression. This stream's already done.
This stream is chaos.
Help.
As always.
This is chaos. So it's 33,000 yen. That equals to $234.32 USD, which is not terrible for something of this caliber. It's going to be in the 30 centimeter scale. If anyone if you're not familiar with the metric system, that is around 12 inches tall. So, it's a beautiful figure. Like I said, I won't be getting it, but I know there are a lot of Shin fans out there that will go nuts for this. Here are some more pictures. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. Here's the scene that it's supposed to be replicating, where Godzilla's awakening and firing all his.
It just adds to my belief and what I still will die on this hill. Shin Godzilla looks better in toy form than he ever did in the movie.
I mean, yeah, I don't look. I don't like. I don't appreciate Shin as much as other people appreciate Shin.
I don't.
I'm gonna leave it there. Shin has grown on me over the years, but Shin is not something.
It's still not up there as one of my favorite designs.
Right. It's not something I go to. But Shin made a butt ton of money in Japan, so they're gonna go back to that well anytime they can. So, Danny, are you gonna be getting this?
Probably not, just for money and space reasons. Nothing against the design. I adore the look of this thing, but I'm not a bit. Sure, there we go. I'm not a huge X Plus collector. I have like maybe 4 or 5 X Pluses, and it's not because I wouldn't get all of them if I could afford them, because I totally would. But I like the weird smaller things. Like I can get, how many Godzilla Land stickers I can get for the price of one X Plus?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can get, how many VHS books I can get?
Or all the weird stuff that you can get on Toku Toy Town at tokutoytown.com.
Tokutoytown.com.
Our 10% off discount code that we talked about.
The stuff that, and this is not me kissing up to Toku Toy Town. It's me saying that the stuff that Jay stocks is much more
weird.
The weird stuff, weird stuff. I've become semi-infamous for bringing my King Ghidorah squeaky hammer on the streams, and I haven't brought it on to Kaiju Weekly yet, and I need to. But I have a Godzilla soap bottle that I got from Jay. I've got a Godzilla squirt gun I got from Jay. Weird stuff. And if I could get a pile of 30 of those things, I would get that instead of an X Plus. Not because I love nothing against stuff. I would get all the X Pluses if I could, but I just don't. I don't have the space. I don't have the space of the budget. So I have a handful. Maybe 4 or 5. I've got a lot of the Harryhausen Star Ace stuff. I've got a Godzilla 2000. I have a Train Biter 54 because I love it. I have a handful, but that's it.
I know Adrian is going to get this Godzilla Train 1090 because he's a simp for Shin. So I know he's getting this.
A man of exquisite taste. I almost said Marchand. Whoops. Woo! Freudian slip.
Woo! Freudian slip. Anyway,
sorry. Woo.
Moving on. So X Plus also revealed that they are going to be reissuing this guy. This is the 25 centimeter Godzilla. This is the 25 centimeter Godzilla 2019. Sorry, from King of the Monsters.
By the way, Adrian said he's not getting the Shin X Plus.
Well, he's Adrian's a liar. Anyway, so back when the movie first came out, they had a version of this where it was where it was the blue dorsal plates versus the standard version. I got the standard version. Then they had because I wasn't quick enough. Oh, you got to be quick enough for the Rick version.
You almost had it.
So they're reissuing this. I think it looks okay. This is not my favorite sculpt from X Plus as far as the 2019 goes. I think the Gigantic looks better than this.
I would agree.
I think that their 25 centimeter from Godzilla vs. Kong looks better than this. I just don't like the pose, personally. But they're reissuing this for $180 USD. I'm assuming that's going to be with shipping. So expect to pay probably $30, $40, or a little bit more than that for a box this big. Sorry, I apologize. Expect to pay maybe around $70, $80, maybe $100 for shipping on this from Japan, wherever you get them, and they're going to be available. I'm assuming through the US Rick site. I think this is a US Rick exclusive. Anyone out there knows better than me. Please correct me, but I believe this is a U.S. Shonen Rick exclusive. See the here, yeah, pull up. Sorry, Eric. Thanks for correcting me.
Hello, there it is.
This is the new release. This is the new release. Is a light up starting at the end of the tail all the way to the mouth, just like Prime 1. That is correct, because on the previous version, it only had the main dorsal spines and the a little bit of the tail to light up. Now this comes in one piece. That's one thing I was going to point out. This will come in one piece in the box. It's going to be a pretty big box. And it coming in one solid piece is going to allow them to do a full light up, like all the way down to the tail, which is a good perk. It's a nice thing that they did for us, but you know, it is what it is. It's not my cup. It's really not my cup of tea, to be quite honest with you. I don't need another one. So going back, let me find my little point. Let me find my little Google Slides here. So moving on to the next one. Now, this is what Elijah referenced earlier, and we actually had a really good conversation last night. Go check out the Collect All Monsters show, because it was me, Eric Stolp, AJ Russo, Leslie P. Chambers, Steven of, I cannot remember his channel name. Steven, if you watch this later, I'm so sorry. We were all talking about all the new releases from Spiral Studios. And speaking of Spiral, oh boy. My love.
I know.
My love. My passion. My beauty. My muse. a 1991 King Ghidorah, or however you want to call it. Bat Chain Puller is his YouTube channel. Sorry about that. He makes really high quality videos and toy reviews. Go check him out. But oh boy, okay.
I know.
So this is part of their This is part of Spiral Studios' Legacy series. So it's going to be mixed materials of a mixture of vinyl and poly resin. I should say poly resin. I'm assuming the necks, Danny, are going to be poly resin, because there's no way that those necks can stick out that far and be vinyl. Absolutely.
No, this is poly resin hardcore. It has to be.
It has to be. It has to be, because the Spiral Burning Godzilla that we were talking about last night, that's the whole reason why we were streaming. We were talking about the Spiral Studios Burning Godzilla, and it is mainly poly resin, which feels similar to vinyl, which is why a lot of folks were confused when that figure came out. It feels like vinyl because it's got a little bit of give and squishiness to it, but it's resin. It's a more pliable, durable form of resin, poly resin. So I'm assuming that the majority of this piece is going to be poly resin with probably some ABS plastic for the wings, and then some vinyl here and there. But my God, like the details on this guy. Oh boy.
This might be the Spiral that gets me to buy a Spiral.
Right.
I'm like I was talking about with X Plus, same thing. Like, I'm pretty selective when I get more expensive, highly detailed figures. It's so good.
Oh man, the size of this thing.
Like I got a couple years ago, I got the X Plus Mothra 92 because I love that design for Mothra. I made it the exception. I dropped the cash. It's got to be a very specific. I dropped the cash for the Train Biter 54. I dropped the cash for Godzilla 2000. Those are very special designs for me. So I don't know what I don't remember what the damage is going to be on this, but I might consider it because I love this.
The only as of right now, the pre-orders are going to start on the 30th. So next Tuesday. So next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the pre-orders are going to start. No price has been announced yet, but expect it to be expensive with a capital E. Okay. For something this large, it's 70 centimeters from foot to wingtip. It is 70 centimeters tall. Yes, Eric, I agree with you. I think we're looking at something like this, and just as a size comparison, you were talking about size.
Oh Lord!
Okay, that's too big for me to pay for. Never mind.
Right.
Never mind.
My guess, no prices have been announced. Nothing. AJ or no one has said anything. My guess is $2,000. It's going to start at $2,000. Like
even on a payment plan, that's more than
It's even on a payment plan, that's a little bit too much. I try
that's
to.
The size of like 4 toddlers.
It's a child. Yes, it's literally a child.
It's a roommate.
Yes, it's a roommate.
This thing had better pay my rent, half my rent for me if I bring it into my home. Okay, no, I thought this thing was gonna be a lot smaller. Okay, never.
No, sir. This is 70 centimeters of.
I should have guessed. Spiral doesn't do small.
Deliciousness, and there's going to be, of course, there's going to be a 91 Godzilla to come along with it. There's going to be I think they already mentioned in their post. This is not spoilery. I know we're close with AJ, but this is not spoilery. Like they've already mentioned this in their post that there is going to be a Mecha King Ghidorah coming down the line at some point as well. And like Eric said, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. I think it's going to start at $2,000. It may even creep up to $2,500. That is my guess. $2,500, maybe $2,800 after you calculate shipping, because shipping on this guy is going to be outrageous. You're looking at like a $400 or $500 shipping bill for this.
No, that's it. It's going to be a note from me, dog.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
No, it's like
this is ridiculous.
No, I was thinking maybe with a payment plan I could have done under $1,000 and just spent a long time paying it off. But I don't have $2,000 to drop. I don't have $2,000 to drop on anything. I don't have $2,000 to drop on like anything at all in my life. I can't do that.
Right.
No, this thing is gorgeous. But
Julie would kill me. Julie would kill me for this. Like she supports my drug of choice, as you see behind me. She supports my lifestyle, but she doesn't support it this much. She would divorce me, but we're not married yet. So, but she would pre-divorce me for buying this. Is what would happen.
Yeah.
She would make me sign a prenup and then immediately divorce me. Is what would happen.
Peer pressure, Eric? Really? Really?
Oh, don't let him lie. I don't want to hear that bull crap because I've already talked to Eric. Eric's not buying this stupid thing either. So don't even, Eric. Don't even at me like
it's what all the
peer pressure only works if it's still within reasonable ability to do it. Like you can pressure us all you want. It's just like the money's not there. It's non-existent.
It's just not there. It's just not there, guys. It's just not my time. It's just not my time.
If I were a rich man, then I could. But tragically, I am neither rich nor am I Topol, so I cannot do either of those things.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, this is going to be a tremendous thing. It's not going to come out, I believe, until like they're aiming for Q2 of 2024. So if you are someone who is able to afford or in the market for this, you've got a little time to pay this thing, to pay for this thing. I don't think these are going to sell out quickly. The edition size is 200, but that's going to be a very slow 200 to fill because there are very few collectors out there who have A, the space, and B, the funds to pay for this thing. Because I just want to add something. The reason why, and Danny, you can back me up on this. The reason why there are so many like little tiny Godzilla figures and things coming out of Japan is because of their space. Like a Japan collector, I don't believe would buy this. There will be Japan collectors who buy this, but Japan collectors, from typically speaking, now if anyone out there is listening and you can correct me, feel free to correct me. But Japan collectors typically lean towards those smaller things because they don't have a lot of space. That's why you see space is an issue. Space is an issue, and
it's a premium.
Yeah, exactly.
The only Japanese people that I can see buying this is ones who have shops or stores or businesses where they can display it. You know, that would be something. Yeah. And to be fair, if I had a shop or a store that catered to that type of thing, I would look into getting this too to put on display. Like it's a great display piece.
Absolutely.
But you just you're right. In Japan, the cities are too packed. Their space is limited, even for the most expensive living situations. But and out in the country, they don't have the funds. They just don't have the means to be able to afford.
This has happened with King Ghidorah before too. They didn't make that's one of the reasons why the Grand King Ghidorah, the one from Mothra 3, and even the Orochi from Yamato Takeru, there just aren't a lot of them, is because they weren't made in high quantities because they knew those weren't going to sell particularly well, and nobody really bought. Not nobody, but a lot of people didn't really buy those. those figures, because the Grand King Ghidorah from Bandai is a beast. It's a huge vinyl.
It's a 9 or 10-inch vinyl. I saw they had one.
Huge.
Yeah.
Orochi is huge. One of my favorite Bandais of all time, the giant 1991 figure, the one that's like 14 inches tall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one, again, same thing. It wasn't a huge seller because space is a premium, and when you have, when you have a toy the size of an infant or a toddler in your house, then it's space is a premium. So
like this is not a shelf. This is not a shelf friendly figure either. Like,
oh my god! Look at the tail.
Yeah, it's so wide, and then the tail goes sticks out
back.
so far. Yeah,
right. You got to put this on
tail
a pedestal.
Goes straight back. You can't
in the middle of your house. In the middle of your
home. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It would have to be on a pedestal, like which to be fair, that's what a lot of people do with statues and stuff. Art statues and everything. And
well, that's where I have my brain. I have it on a table, like its own little end table in the corner of my office here. It's where I have it sitting. But anyway, we can move.
Remember
the Burning Godzilla, the Burning Godzilla, the newest one, the big one.
Oh, when I was there, you still had it on the table, so.
Yeah, I had it on the kitchen table because I wanted to admire it. But I moved it into my office after you left. But anyway, we can move on from that. And then speaking of Spiral Studios, they're also going to be releasing their own version of Shin.
It's beautiful.
I don't remember if there are other photos of this circling around the internet, so this is the only one I wanted to show. But they're going to be doing their own version of Shin as part of the Legacy series. This is going to be about 40 to 50 centimeters tall as well, so it's going to be a big boy. Hopefully it comes with an alternate head, because I just don't like the split I don't like the split jaw version of Shin. I just don't like it. I like the normal mouth version of Shin. If I have one, maybe two Shin figures in my collection, but I don't like this. Neither one of them are split jaw. I just don't like the split jaw. But this is going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see it painted. Not a whole lot to talk about yet as far as like price and stuff are concerned. I hope it rides a little bit closer to the GMK that just got announced and took pre-orders for, because that was around $700 or something around that range. It was like $700, and then you have to factor in shipping. But can't wait to see this painted. But the big piece de résistance for Spiral is their new Spiral toy line that just launched on Friday, and we had a stream last night with AJ, and we all gushed and said how incredibly proud we are of AJ for making this dream a reality. This is their first release of Spiral Toy, which is their Sofubi division of Spiral Studios. They launched this on Friday. Friday, because this is Sunday. Sorry. They launched it on Friday. This is their 2019 Godzilla from King of the Monsters. This is one of 5 colorways that they're going to be doing. And from what I understand, they're going to be releasing one colorway a month. And this is sculpted by the famous Yamada that also sculpts for Marmot. So this has got some pedigree behind it. And the name Artisan Dynasty is appropriate for this because of its close involvement with Yamada-san and Marmot. So this is a beautiful figure. I will not be picking this particular colorway up. I have my eye on one, but I'm waiting for it to come down the line. You can grab this one, Travis, if you want to throw the website up there. It's at spiraltoy.com. It's still available for $250 USD. So as far as...
What is it, Spiral Toy?
It's in the banners. If you go to the banners, I have a banner for Spiral.
Oh, okay. You already got one thing. Yeah. Okay. I was fixing great.
There you go. So spiraltoy.com. You can go there and check it out. It's $250, which is, a pretty decent price. It's $250 shipped. That's not before shipping. So that is $250 shipped within the US. It's beautiful. I didn't grab this one because I'm waiting for another colorway to come down the line. They just also announced a next month's colorway, which is this really beautiful gold and green and yellow and orange colorway. It's gorgeous, but this is still not the one I want. Still waiting, but these are gorgeous. So congratulations to our friend AJ Russo of Kaiju Live for finally making this a reality. We're super, super proud of you, man. When you watch this later, we're incredibly proud of you and what you've been able to accomplish there with Spiral and Spiral Toy. For all the collector stuff, that is all I had. If you want to check out all things collector, go to the Kaiju Collectors group on Facebook. It's the one that's connected to Monsters with Attitude. You can probably type in Monsters with Attitude in Facebook and find it that way too. Also, join our friends over at Collect All Monsters, which is another fantastic group for collectors. So, and KaijuLive.shop for all things Kaiju Live. And that's it. I tried to make that as quick as I could.
Yeah. Well, we're moving on to the comics and video games section because we do have some comics news that we want to talk about real quick. And great that Danny is here because Danny, you're my comic book guy. So we're going to be
news to me. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, I can call Nathan back if you want, but
no, that is fine.
No. It's fine. It's fine.
Listen, we don't like threats around here. We don't like threats around here, Travis. Come on.
We don't like threats around here.
Okay. So the first bit of comic book news is about the Power Rangers from Boom Studios comic books. We're going to share this real quick. So
that is a badass cover.
That it is. It absolutely is.
Good.
So the Power Rangers comics from Boom Studios are about to enter their next year-long event. This is going to be called The Darkest Hour. It's beginning in issue 111. This is the brief that we get from that. Boom Studios, under license by global leader in play Hasbro Inc., is excited to announce Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 111, the beginning of the Darkest Hour event, taking place after the bold and greatly anticipated reunited, recharged era of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, with the superstar creative lineup of writer Melissa Flores, artist Simona D. I can't remember how to say that last name, John Felice, and colorist Raul Angelo, and letter Ed Dukeshire. They're going to kick off this monumental 12-month event, available in August is when this is going to come about. Robert, thank you for joining us. We're sorry to see you go. Bye, Robert. Here is the quick breakdown of what is happening in this event. Mistress Vile has won, or so it seems, with control of the grid and Dark Spectre's infection spreading throughout the universe. As if an epic battle between Vile and the vessel wasn't enough, the separated and stranded Rangers receive help from the last team they'd expect, but it may not be the help they were hoping for. And yes, Danny, I don't know. I made a joke that you're my comic book guy, but that's just because I know that Michael's not a comic book guy. This to me
I read
feels
Ranger comics.
Okay, this to me feels like Blackest Night. Do you know what Blackest Night is?
Remind me. You're gonna have to remind me.
Okay. So this feels like, if anybody is familiar with DC Comics and the Green Lanterns, so there was a Green Lantern event that happened called Blackest Night, where they introduced all of the other Lantern colors. So you had Green Lantern, Yellow Lanterns, the Red Lanterns, all those different ones, and they had the Black Lanterns the power of the Black Lantern rings could bring dead characters back to life as undead zombie like creatures. And so it was an invasion of space zombies and zombified characters, like, even Superman I think at one point became a Black Lantern. So this just looking at that cover, this looks like a Blackest Night type event.
That makes sense. Obviously, I've never read Blackest Night. I'd completely forgotten that was the plot of it. I completely forgot that was the plot. But hearing you say that, yeah, I'm getting vibes like that from this. This is when did this drop? Like last week or two ago?
This is 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay, 2 weeks ago. This thing, I kind of stared at it for longer than I should have because it's just haunting.
I've had it on my second screen here for like the entire time that Michael was going through the toys and collectibles, and it's just been staring into my soul.
Oh, it's
Just
disturbing.
Yeah.
The broken. It's interesting that they chose the Pink Ranger to put on the cover because I don't know, like there's just something extra wicked about it.
Yeah.
Like the twisted arm and the stance, the posture, such as it is.
Yeah.
The visor is gone, the mouth plate is gone, enough that you can see that. Oh, that's disturbing.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know. I don't know. Like this could. I mean, I don't know. Comic book covers lie, just like movie trailers lie. So who
True.
knows? But they're calling it Darkest Hour. The plot synopsis seems pretty dire. This artwork is horrifying. This could be a pretty freaky book.
Yeah, and Michael can back me up on this, that the Power Rangers comics have not been, the happy-go-lucky kind of, fun adventures that you might expect from the TV show. They have gone in some dark places already.
They've gone into Shattered Grid is the most famous, I believe, of the Ranger of the event comics. Shattered Grid went into some really dark places. So did Beyond the Grid went to some really dark places as well. So basically, Boom Studios is doing they're aging up Power Rangers to where to fit the grown up fan sensibilities. And that's what I've really appreciated about the Power Rangers comics is that mature take on a long running kid friendly franchise.
This, I mean, it's almost like somebody at Boom Studios watched The Last of Us and said, we can do that in Power Rangers. And it's like, what?
Yeah, well, it's there's definitely kind of a second mini like zombie boom happening right now because of the resurgence of The Last of Us.
There is, yeah.
There's a because I mean, how many years ago it was now when there was a new zombie thing every couple of hours in pop culture.
11. It was 11 years ago because that's when The Walking Dead started.
Yeah, 11 years, and everything was exploding and everything was zombies. But there's kind of a new bump up in zombies right now because of The Last of Us, kind of the show and all that good stuff. This could be the darkest one thing they've done. It could be. I don't know. They have a high bar to beat.
I'm intrigued by it. I've already got issues pulled for myself to start reading this. I'm really, really intrigued by it. Like the Mistress Vile, the Mistress Vile story arc that's been happening. Also, really something they're doing something really interesting with Lord Zed and some of the other characters as well. I have high hopes for this. I have high hopes for Darkest Hour.
Yeah, it just, like I said, I got real Blackest Night vibes for any DC fans out there. That's the vibes that it's giving me. A little bit of Marvel zombies. I get more, just from the description, I get more Blackest Night vibes than Marvel zombies. But yeah, it definitely feels like a very darker tone. But moving on to the next bit of news, Boom Studios is also celebrating Power Rangers with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 30th Anniversary Comic Special. Let me pull that up for us too.
That cover's phenomenal too.
That's a really good cover.
Yes,
I say.
Yeah. So here's the brief. Here's the brief that we get. To continue the 30-year legacy of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Boom Studios, under license by global leader in play Hasbro Inc., has put together the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 30th Anniversary Comic Special, a landmark celebratory anthology issue featuring 5 brand new stories paying homage to the legacy of the Power Rangers, written by Ryan Parrott. We're getting Ryan Parrott back to write something. Yep. Yay. Matt Groom. The original Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger, Amy Jo Johnson, is also going to be writing something in it. And Matt Hodson, who has written something on Titans. And young adult author Maria Ingrand Mora, along with current Mighty Morphin Power Ranger superstar scribe Melissa Flores. Joining the celebration are returning fan favorite Power Rangers assists, including Hendry Presetia. I don't know how to say his name. Eleonora Carlini, Marco Renna, and Power Rangers newcomer Jomi Kyung are all joining in on this book. So yeah, here's the what we're expecting to get in the book itself. Between a spotlight on Ernie in Angel Grove, Alpha 5's struggle to find his true purpose, a mind-bending what-if story, which really is interesting, about Tommy's powers, which introduces an all-new alternate universe, an additional tale about his marriage to Kat. It's official. We all know it now.
Yeah.
And a deeper look at the Ranger Academy, which was something that they introduced with Free Comic Book Day, was the Rangers Academy. This anniversary issue is truly packed full of content worthy of the 30-year legacy. It features a main cover by Dan Mora. That's the one we're looking at right here. Looks absolutely fantastic. I agree with you guys. Just really great. It's one Ranger jumping, but it's split into, like, colored into all the different Ranger colors, the original Ranger colors.
My only nitpick about this color is what I'm assuming is supposed to be the Pink Ranger looks more purple than pink.
Yeah, it does.
It's a nitpick.
It does. See if I can pull up some of the other ones here. I can. Come on. There we go. Okay, and then we've also got Ryan Gonzalez, who has an alternate cover. Really cool. I actually kind of like this because it really brings in the high school aspect of these teens with attitude. So Ryan Gonzalez did a really fantastic job on this cover. Ryan Gonzalez has done artwork for Batgirls, so he's a really fantastic artist. Then we've got Jamal Campbell. Or Jamal Campbell. No, this is not it. This is just the regular. This is just a regular special.
It's
just a photo.
That's one of the old photos from the 90s. From that's the TV Guide cover photo.
Oh,
okay. From the 90s. That's the TV Guide cover. Yeah.
So that's an alternative. That's an alternative cover too.
Cool
here's the one from Jamal Campbell.
That's a good one.
And he's most known for doing artwork on Nightwing. He's done covers, I think, for ones in the past, so he's not a new face when it comes to Power Rangers comics. And then we've got Miguel Mercado,
that's good.
Who did some work on Go-Go Power Rangers. Has kind of an Alex Ross look to it.
That looks hyper realistic. Yeah, like that is like a hyper realistic cover. I like it.
Anybody who knows comic books, if you know Alex Ross, it really does feel like an Alex Ross cover, but it's Miguel Mercado, so I like that. And then we have Goni Montes, who has done artwork in the past. I can't pronounce their name, but they've done work in the past. This is a tribute to Jason David Frank.
That's the other cover that I saw. That'll probably be the cover that I pull for this.
It's gorgeous.
I imagine that's probably going to be one of the most expensive covers. Because if anybody knows, the alternate covers, they vary in price depending on who the artist is, what the subject matter is, things like that. But I imagine this is probably going to be the more expensive of the variants. For good reason. I mean, Jason David Frank makes sense.
Oddly enough, I kind of want this and the TV Guide cover, the photo, because I'm a little nostalgic for the TV Guide Guide photo.
I really like the standard, like the actual standard one that was what was it, Ryan? That was the Ryan?
That was the Ryan Parrott cover, wasn't it?
No, not Ryan Parrott. He's
not
the
Parrott.
Ryan
No,
Gonzalez.
Sorry.
Ryan Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez, sorry.
That one's the one I think I like the most. I do really like this Jason David Frank one too. But it matches. And if you're someone who has been collecting the covers, because they've done these covers where they're holding the helmets and they've basically done all of the Rangers up to this point. So if you collect all of them, this will fit right in with all those. So if you're someone who wants the full collection.
I have I've been collecting the collected issues, the ones that they've been releasing. The volumes. I've been collecting the volumes. That's how I've been getting the issues. That's how I've been catching. That's how I've been staying up to date with the Ranger comic stuff, is by collecting the volumes.
Yeah, the TPDs or the TPBs, the trade paperbacks.
The trades. The trades.
Yeah, the trades.
No. The big ones, the hardcover.
The big hardcover ones. Okay, yeah.
The big hardcover books. Yeah.
The big hardcover ones are really cool, are really nice. If I could afford them, I would get them. They're not. I know they're not super expensive, but they're just. It's just. Yeah, I don't have space. I don't have space for them. So that's it for the Boom Power Rangers stuff that I have. Anything that you guys want to mention?
I'm really excited for Darkest Hour. I'm really excited for all the 30th anniversary stuff that they're going to be putting out. I'm actually a little surprised that there hasn't been more 30th anniversary related things, but I'm assuming we'll get more as we get closer, because this is almost June, so we've got 2 months until the anniversary. It's August the 29th, August the 28th is the anniversary for Rangers. So we've got a couple months for them to announce some stuff, and then we've got the rest of the year as well, because we've got Cosmic Fury and whatnot. So
I did forget to show off one of the covers.
Oh, you did. Yeah, you did. Okay.
You can't miss this one. This is brilliant.
Yeah. So this is actually 2 different covers. So this is by Bon Bernardo. Bon Bernardo. So he did 2 different covers here. One featuring the villains from the original series through, I think, all the way through to what? Megaforce?
It's all the way through Beast Morphers. I didn't see any because I see Venjix from Beast Morphers, but I don't see I don't see anyone from Dino Fury.
I thought Venjix was from RPM.
RPM. Well, because RPM ends on a cliffhanger, and then that cliffhanger is paid off in Beast Morphers.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched Beast Morphers, so that's why I haven't. Right. Okay. But the other cover that this is like paired with is all the villains from the Boom Studios comics. So you've got your Drakens, your Mistress Viles, your evil Alpha Ones, which is just I forget the Eltarian's name, but the Eltarian villain from the Eltar War. You get the.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I
couldn't think. Go ahead. No, I'm just trying to think. I was trying to think of the guy's name from. I was trying to think of the villain's name from the Eltarian War.
Yeah. We get also all of the evil Ranger versions of like Rita and her pawns. That was in Forever Evil, I think.
Zardas. Zardas is the villain from the Eltarian War.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's Zardas, but that was Forever Evil was the storyline that had the weird kind of evil Ranger versions of like Rita and all them. And then you've got the one that's in the back that's taking the place of what's his name?
Spectre.
Dark Spectre, but the one on the Boom Studios villain side, that is the evil morphing master or something like that. I think it's what he was, and he was in that Beyond the Grid.
The Dark Master, I think it was.
Yeah, the Dark Master. Yeah, he was from the Beyond the Grid. Is where he first appeared. So yeah, so we've got some of those villains. You also got what's her name from why am I blanking? Nathan's favorite one.
Astronema from space?
Astronema, yeah. Because so we have the Boom Studios version of Astronema from her prequel comic is also featured in this, and along with Eclipto. If you see him, Ecliptor, Ecliptor. Yeah. So you get and there's the Green Psycho Ranger, which was introduced in Boom Studios because there wasn't a Green Psycho Ranger in the original.
Right. That was part of one of the event comics that focused on the in space team.
Mhm.
The Psycho's Path. It was introduced
Yeah,
as the Psycho's
yeah,
Path.
Psycho's Path.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So, just really interesting, just seeing all of the. I really like the dichotomy of seeing like your live action villains from all the different series paired with the Boom Studios, and it's just like paying tribute to not only the 30 years history of the TV shows, but the 30 years history that now also includes the comic books and the comic book characters.
No, it's really interesting. I'll say this and we can move on. My biggest disappointment is they don't technically have every villain covered throughout the history of Power Rangers. They're still missing a ton of villains in that first cover.
Yeah, they're missing a bunch that could have been featured in here. I mean, I know that they had to kind of pick and choose what went in there, but they're also missing entire series.
Yeah, Dino Charge is not represented at all in this cover.
Yeah.
Like Poisandra, Sledge, those could have been easy people that they could have integrated into this cover, but they did not. I agree with Oscar. I need a poster of these. I think this would look brilliant as a poster. I love it. But I'm just a little disappointed that they chose things like the Cruel Crayfish over Sledge from.
So remind me, is Dino Charge? That's how long ago was that series? That's
Dino Charge was 2014. I want to say.
Oh, okay.
No, hang on. I'll tell you.
Well, I know that somebody mentioned that the newest series, what was the most recent one?
2015.
Okay, because the reason why you might not see Beast Morphers and the most recent one. What was the most recent one?
Dino Fury.
Dino Fury on here is because these were probably done way earlier and were meant to come out for like the 25th anniversary, but then they got held back for the 30th, or maybe like a different anniversary. Somebody mentioned that this artwork might have been done way in advance, and that's why they don't have some of the more recent ones. But Dino Fury, they definitely still had.
They should have had Dino Fury for that. Yeah, I mean Beast Morphers, you could that's 2020, so. You could say you could reasonably make that argument for Beast Morphers, but not for Dino Charge. That's not. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anything else that you guys want to mention while I bring up the next bit of news?
Nope.
No, not really. It all looks good to me.
I'm trying to secretly tell you to vamp while I.
Okay.
Power Rangers, won't you?
Sure. Okay, so if you want great Power Rangers content, I know that Nathan and I have been on a little hiatus with the Power Trip all throughout May because we just had we had All Monsters Attack, and then we had a lot of other obligations that we had to take care of, and just some other stuff that we had going on. So we just did not get a chance to record the Power Trip like we wanted to. So we'll be coming back in June. And we'll be picking up where we left off. So we're going to be picking back up with O-Ranger is going to be our next Sentai episode. And then we're going to follow up O-Ranger with Car Ranger. And Danny, you've been a faithful listener of that podcast ever since we started. In fact, you can hear Danny's voice as the Great Ninja Man on the
podcast.
On the show,
yes.
On the podcast, on the podcast.
Show.
Sorry, I think someone's knocking at my door, so that kind of distracted me.
I
will be.
It happens to the best of us. It happens.
I've got my next thing. So the next bit of comic book news is we have a new comic book. It actually has already started. I think it started last week, maybe a week before. But it is King Kong: The Great War. This is a comic from Dynamite. It is a limited series. I don't remember how many issues long it is. I might have that written in the show notes.
I don't recall how many issues it is.
I don't have it written in the show notes, but it is not tied to the MonsterVerse. So this is not a Kong Skull Island, not anything like that. This is completely separate. This is based on the original King Kong, hence King Kong, not Kong. And the story goes as such. The world at war. While men of all nations fight on foreign shores, an Imperial German U-boat is lost at sea. The crew now faces terror beyond the imagination. Monsters from creation's dawn, gruesome blood-stained death from above and below, impossible beasts reigning by fear and violence in the South Pacific, and looming over all, the gargantuan ape god that knows no master. These brave men have faced death before, but now they must contend with Kong.
Dun, dun, dun.
So
I am excited. So
I was going to ask you, Danny, as the Kong guy, the resident Kong guy, is this something you're going to read?
I'm going to read this. I've been pumped for this. They announced this last year, I believe.
I think it looks like
this
crap
year.
myself.
Well, I can't kick you out of the stream. That's too bad. So you have triggered a Kong fan, sir. No,
it's not like there's very many of you guys out there anyway.
Oh, yeah. You see, now that's just a load of... Anyway, so this book looks really, really fun. This is an extension of the kind of insane at this point Joe DeVito Kong universe. There are a number of comic book series and one-shots that have come out. This is the first one that Dynamite's done. Boom did the last run. They did a Kong King of Skull Island, or a King Kong of Skull Island run. They did, I think, 1 or 2 one-shot issues, and it seems like they don't have the license anymore. It seems like Joe DeVito has migrated that over to Dynamite. I don't know the full story on that, why it's there instead of it Boom.
Was it Boom that did it, or IDW? I think IDW did.
Nope, it was Boom.
Was
it was
Boom?
Boom.
Okay.
Same crew that did a lot of the same crew that worked on the Boom Planet of the Apes books about 8 or 9
right.
years
Okay.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I was thinking IDW, because I thought Planet of the Apes was involved in there too.
Yeah. So this is this is yet another another weird spinoff. So just as a kind of a little bit of background for people, the Joe DeVito universe of Kong is a couple of things. One, it is completely separate from the Monsterverse. It is also the basis for the Disney Plus show that's coming out here. So that's the distinction. And I've explained this in other streams. I won't get too into the weeds on this just to save time. But basically, Joe DeVito's World of Kong is a spin-off that uses 2 things. One, the public domain status of the original novelization of King Kong from 1933, and full approval and just support from the Marion C. Cooper estate. That, they don't, I believe, look over all of this stuff, but they definitely look at some of it. And they've done some interesting stuff with this world. And some of it is completely isolated. A lot of it's in the same universe. I like some of the stuff that they've done, like King Kong versus Tarzan, which is a novel. I want to say that's probably not canon in the Joe DeVito world. Same with Kong on the Planet of the Apes, which is another great, really, really fun book. This might very well be canon, because we're talking Great War that is pre-Carl Denham showing up. That is that is pre-Carl Denham. So that's what I really love about these books, is that they're taking the mythos of the 1933 film, kind of. It's the book, but basically the film. And they're expanding it out. Like, I mean, I don't know much about the plot. I haven't read the first issue yet, but I would almost guarantee you that the 2 carnivores at the bottom are Death Runners, which are intelligent, sapient, raptor-like creatures that are in the Joe DeVito books. And they use tools, like they're smart friggin' raptors. They're called they're called Death Runners by the Skull Islanders, and they are no joke. They will rip you apart. And this one in the front here has given me serious Indoraptor vibes.
It really does.
It's the spines and the shape of the jaw. But I'm interested to see this, because the idea of, like, it's not really Nazis, but it's about as close to Nazis versus King Kong as you can get. This is obviously pre-Rise of the Third Reich in terms of German history, but it's a bunch of people getting shipwrecked on Skull Island before Carl Denham showed up, and that's cool. That's cool.
And what's great is you don't see any of them in the original story or in the original movie, so they're all going to be dead by the end of this story. There will be no survivors.
Unless, like, one guy gets out and he's like, no, believe me, I was on an island with monkeys and lizards, and they're like, no, lock him up. He's nuts.
The
timeline
maintained. Ed Wynn on Skull Island, go.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, so-
I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, this is it's a fun story. I really liked the setting of this. Like you were saying, it's such a unique setting to set it during World War One. Like that just is such a unique take on Kong, and to be fit into that same universe, like you were saying, you know, of all these other books and comics that have been coming out in this universe of King Kong. It's just so great. And so it's just one of the benefits of, and I know there's a lot of negatives and there's a lot of benefits, and we're not going to get into the argument, Michael, of public domain. But one of the things I do like about public domain characters is the fact that you can get different versions of the same character at the same time. You know, we've got Kong Skull Island, we've got the animated Skull Island coming out, but we've also got this stuff coming out too at the same time, and it's a lot of fun. And you can do that even with licensed characters too, because I mean, look at the number of Batman and Superman books are existing simultaneously.
This is true. It's a lot.
So, but yeah, anything else?
No, I think this looks like a fantastic book. I'm interested to read it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Travis, but is this the book that was out when we went to Inner Geek over in Huntington? Was this the book we were looking at? Okay.
Yeah, it had just come out when we went. That was, I think that was like 3 weeks ago now.
But 2 weeks, yeah, we're going on 3 weeks now at this point.
So yeah, so it's been out for a little bit. So the next issue 2 should be coming out here probably in another week or so, because it's a monthly series. So, but I don't remember. I know it's a limited run, so I think it's only like 5 or 6 issues long, but that it's going to be. But I don't remember exactly how long it's going to be. But yeah, so that's going to do it for the comic news, and really, I think that's going to do it for our whole episode, because we definitely had a lot of news and stuff to cover. We had a lot of chaos going on with so many people, so really we don't have time to get into the mailbag this week. Sorry for that. But we've been reading out comments.
Did we have a mailbag?
I was going to reach out to people in the chat to give us some questions if they wanted to, but yeah.
I was going to say if we had one available, we could do it really quick, but
no. But reminder for anybody who's listening to this or watching this, that if you want to send us anything to be read out on the podcast, make sure to hashtag Kaiju Weekly News, and we will find it. You can also reach us at Kaiju Weekly on Twitter, or Kaiju_Ramen for Kaiju Ramen Media. So any of those to reach out to us, you can send us your questions, and we will read them out on our next episode. But yeah, so to close out this episode, let's give our plugs. Michael, you want to give your plugs first?
Sure. So first and foremost, anything Kaiju and Tokusatsu related, it's kaijuramenmedia.com. Like we talked about at the top of the show, or you can follow us at Kaiju_Ramen on Twitter, and we're usually pretty active there. For Power Rangers related stuff, it's the Power Trip podcast, which is part of the family of podcasts associated with Kaiju Ramen. For collectibles, toys, and things that you shouldn't spend money on but you still do, I'm part of the crew at Monsters with Attitude, and that whole crew at Kaiju Collectors over on Facebook. So search for those guys. Outside of that, I'm just kind of hanging out with these goofballs and not really doing a whole lot else.
Yeah. And Danny, you want to give your plugs?
Ever so briefly, as I've mentioned on the show before, I am the creator and writer of the Godzilla novelization project, and if the idea of reading the Godzilla movies as full prose novels sounds like your jam, go to GodzillaNovelizationProject.com. Check out all the stuff that's there, from the novels, which have serialized chapters, to the short stories, to the timelines, to the blogs, to the all this crazy stuff. There are all the podcasts I've been on, all the interesting, cool kaiju things I've gotten to do are all linked there. So you can just click the page and find anything you want there. If you want to follow along, I'm Danzilla93_GNP on Twitter. I'm Godzilla Novelization Project on Facebook. You can email me. You can, if you really like what you read, you can check me out on Patreon, where I host a an exclusive podcast, and I provide updates. And aside from that, I write for Kaiju Ramen Magazine. I write for Kaiju Ramen Media. I'm constantly on Kaiju podcasts yammering about stuff. I've been on this show. I've been on Monster Island Film Vault. I've been on the Power Trip. I've been on I almost said Collect All Monsters. I've technically been on Collect All Monsters one time.
You've been on Collect All Monsters before.
I'd love to come back, but I've been on the Monsters with Attitude a handful of times. I love those guys. I've been interviewed by Donnie and Kim. Like, I've been all over the place. I've written 1,000 things in 1,000 different directions. But yeah, I'm just doing goofy stuff. Again, like you guys, I'm hanging out with you goofballs, and I remain eternally grateful for that. As silly as it all gets, I love it.
Well, we remain eternally grateful for you, Danny, for sticking it out with us the whole 3 hours.
Thank you, Michael. Yes. Your check is in the mail.
And always filling in on the magazine at the last minute because which is what's happening with the next issue.
I get the message saying, "Yo, we need another issue." I'm like, "We need another article. Can you do this in 2 weeks?" Yeah, I can do that. That's fine.
It helps us out a lot whenever something falls through and we have to fill in that space.
I love to do it. I love to help.
Yeah, and speaking of Kaiju Ramen Magazine, if you want to pick up any issues, any of our back issues in digital form, you can do that at kaijuramenmedia.com. Our printed copies of issue 9 are coming. They are on order from the printer. We're just waiting for the printer to send them to us. I put them on rush order, but I can only rush the printer so much before we start getting really terrible stuff in return. So I'm trying to give them a little bit of time. But yeah, so those will be available when we get them. And just as a sneak peek for anybody who stuck around with us and is listening to this later on or whenever, we are going to probably by next week make some announcements about subscription options for Kaiju Ramen. We've been kind of toying with the ideas and stuff, so
I did not approve this. I did not approve this.
You don't have to. I am the only decision that matters.
This was not put in a memo this week, Travis.
So hopefully we'll announce that and give more details about that next week. So yeah. And so to close out this episode, we'll say help control the giant monster population, have your Kongs and your Skull Islands spayed or neutered. And because we didn't have a mailbag, I'm going to play us out with the mailbag theme because I love it so much.
Yes. What's in the mail today?
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See ya.